So before we started recording, you said my hair... What did you say? You said I look ugly.
I said you look ugly and it's very nice.
But it's very nice. Guys, please, between me and Morara, please rate. Out of 10, please rate. We'll put myself and Morara side by side. 12 years, bro. This is 12 years.
Of commitment.
I
don't think I can do that.
But the thing is, I never even remember I have this hair. Like, until you mentioned, I never remember. Because I have it every day. It's not heavy. It's a bit bulky when it's wet. So what I do is I go to the salon and then I get it washed from the salon. Then they put me in a dryer. But kama saizi, it's just very normal. Yeah, I don't feel anything.
Bro. Unajua unakaa zile nini za ankole, zile those bulls that
the ankole bulls. Yes. I'm a Dedan Kimathi.
You look
the
like
nearest.
Them. Oh yeah, Dedan Kimathi is the nearest.
That's my grandfather.
Oh.
Yep.
No wonder.
It's in the blood. Still fighting up to date.
Never falls far from the truth.
No, he's not. But do you know, funny thing? Tafari was reminding me just before we started recording that we were in KU almost the same time. I literally remember your campaign poster. So before we started, Tafari, I'm like, oh shit! I remember the light-skinned dude who was on the campaign posters. Very well. I was in KU at that time.
But you see, politics in KU was fairer than politics out here. Because in KU, you could go class to class, lecture hall to lecture hall, speak to people, and if you make sense, they will vote for you. Out here is something else. The more condescending you are, the more stupid you are, the more arrogant you are as a politician, the more you don't know, the better they like you. Ukiongea, you have too much knowledge and sema huyu ni mjuaji huyu. Atupatii kura mjuaji. If you come from a proper, like family where both parents are there and sema hapana wanataka mtoto wa single mother.
You're too privileged.
I mean, the voters out here, they are something else. And so I've been doing a lot of civic education to try and improve the quality of voters that we have.
Okay. The civic education thing is something that I think about as well. I think we have a problem with civic education because the system wants it to remain like that.
Definitely. Wachana hata na civic education. The education system, too, basic education. We are taught lies. Maybe the only true thing we are taught is the sciences and the mathematics.
Because that doesn't change. It's almost universal.
But history and government, we are just taught to be obedient, to be subservient to authority, not to question. It's as if, the history book is talking back to you and saying, this is how things have been, and this is how they will remain. So that so many people are hopeless because of that. And also, it social engineers us to accept mediocrity. So our standards for governance and leadership ziko chini sana because of what we learn in school.
How do you change that? You change the whole system?
It's very difficult because the person who can change the curriculum is the government, and the people benefiting are the politicians who run the government. So it's highly unlikely. It has to take a civilian revolution. People in power can never disadvantage themselves by informing the public what lies they've been telling to stay in power. But the public can become wiser and then remove those who are in power and replace them with people who are better. But it begins with a wise public, good voters. So it doesn't begin with good leaders, it begins with good voters. So not jumping from fire to fire, from, you just having bad leaders back to back. Yeah. Mulikuwa na Gavana Lusaka, mkaboeka na yeye, mkaleta Wangamati. Gavana Lusaka mwenye alinunua wheelbarrow moja sijui ni 1 million, tena ndio mnarudisha.
Yeah.
Halafu sasa
and now they want the other guy. Didmas. Now they want Didmas.
Ni kama your sister who keeps falling into bad relationships and there's nothing you can do about it because she's in love.
I have a sister like that.
Oh, please don't talk about it on air. If I was to talk about something like that on air, my sister will poison me. Aki ataniua. Okay, not literally, but hawezi niwacha.
Yeah. Are you guys close?
Yeah, I'm very close to my sister because I raised her up.
Okay.
As a firstborn. So mimi ndo nilikuwa napewa kazi ya kuwaosha. So I literally wash them, dress them, cook for them, ilipiga kazi mingi, so we created a bond.
Yeah.
We're very close naye whenever she needs somebody to talk to. In fact, anaweza kosana na wazazi wake aniongeleshe mimi.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm closer
because you're closer to her
than the mother.
Yeah.
Than
But I
the
think
father.
it's most cases it's siblings that are closer. But I have a lot of admiration for parents who are very close with their kids. I have a few friends who I'm like, I really admire how close you are with the parents.
It's admirable. Just sasa mimi mtu kama mimi, I was raised by a dad who can tell you I love you. Hata hizi kuambia my son, I love you.
Regardless.
Hata akikuja Parents Day, anakuja na gazeti. And then he doesn't even see the teachers. He says, uko sawa? So unaendelea mzuri? Shika ini ya shopping, wacha mimi niende wewe tutaongea.
That's it.
But at least mama akikuja, amekuja na hot pot, iko na food,
home food.
Mnapiga story kidogo, anaenda kwa mwalimu wa math, anaenda kwa mwalimu wa English, anaenda kwa mwalimu wa Kiswahili. Namwambia unasikia vile mwalimu anasema? So, well, our fathers, some of them were too, how should I say? They were masculine. Paka
toxic masculinity is what they
lakini
call
sasa hata kukua close na watoto ilikuwa inakaa ni kama ni kitu ya watoto yenye hawafai kufanya.
Yeah.
But for us, we are trying to be different because of also education and exposure. So we date differently, we marry differently, we treat our spouses differently, we treat our children differently. Me, I'm surprised, I just have a conversation with my children and tell them, hii haitawezekana, hii itafanyika. Imagine, it's a debate.
Yeah. And
in where
they tell you what
from.
they feel about the same
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
Where I came from. You had no opinion.
The parents' opinion is the final.
It was law.
Yeah.
Even when it's wrong. Even when your conscience was telling you, hapa mzayana to mislead.
Yeah.
Lakini ashasema inafuatwa kama Biblia.
Yeah.
Out of respect. But of course we grew and we've seen a different world and we hope to live the world differently based on how it has changed.
Yeah. So today, like broadly, and we'll get into some of the things I know we've mentioned in passing, but broadly, I think I'd love to engage you in a conversation about state power versus dissent. And then my hope is that by the end of this recording, we shall have spoken about accountability, the truth versus official narratives, what they call it, and then also the cost of just speaking out. And the reason is because also you come from from a political family in Nyamira.
Yeah, my great-grandfather, Senator John Kebaso, was the first senator of Kisii.
Yeah.
And my grandfather, Honorable George Morara, the late, was the MP for Esmokrango.
Yeah, back in the days.
Back in the day. But they all died mysteriously and they died for truth.
Yeah.
So there's a good history and then there's a bad part of the history. So for many years, my family, you could not do politics. Hata ya shule, hata ile ya prefects too. It was a problem because family members would come together and condemn you.
Yeah.
And say, wachana na hiyo mambo ya siasa kabisa, it has not been kind to our family. But I think, we break generational barriers. Just because it happened then, it doesn't mean it will happen again. If God had placed a burden of leadership on people, you will always find yourself bothered. There are people who are unbothered by with what is going on.
Yeah.
If the road is bad, they buy a Land Cruiser. If the public hospitals are bad, they try to afford private hospitals. If public schools are bad, they look for the academies and private schools. If politicians are saying nothing useful on television, they don't watch television, so they never watch the news. So they've zoned out, basically. So there are many people who are unbothered with what is going on in Kenya.
Yeah.
And then there are those of us who, however much we try not to bother, we are always bothered. Including when we've promised, Aki ya Mungu kutoka leo, I am not going to talk about these problems again.
Yeah.
I'm going to live my private life. Then next week, Monday, you are talking about them again.
Yeah.
Well, it's not madness. It's conviction. You keep feeling that these things are wrong and something should be done to fix them. So that conviction of leadership is, we need more people with that. Because if you have more people who are coming to leadership because they have a conviction, not because they have an ambition to make money or to get connections or to get a title, mheshimiwa. If we have more people coming to power or coming to seek leadership because they have a conviction something is wrong, and they get a good system that keeps them grounded on their conviction. As many people come to leadership with good intentions, then they find a system that teaches them something else. Over time, they learn to be violent. They learn to hire goons now. They learn corruption even though they didn't have it. They justify it. They find a good reason why corruption is okay. Some of these things, the reason people are able to sleep at night is because they've been managed to convince themselves that the people are worth being stolen from. I've sat with many leaders who tell me, don't trust this public. They lie to you. When you get an opportunity, nyonya, well, leave them alone. So, meaning there are leaders who came to leadership with good intentions, but over time, after interacting with other rotten apples, they got the rot.
Yeah.
And then became part of that same system. That's why you see I always have a problem with our political party system, because Kenya is a multi-party state of political parties, and the political parties that exist are private enterprises of people, and they belong to certain tribes and communities. So when you enter that political party, there are no values. The values only exist on paper. The value number one of the party is the party leader. Value number two of the party is what the party leader has said. You see?
Yeah.
So you end up, simping to the party leader, even when he's wrong, even when he's making decisions that will disadvantage many communities, even when he's making statements that are not okay. But you see, the people, the voters, who you as a senator or you as an MP expect to face and expect their vote, they are already loyal to the tribal political party and the tribal political party leader. So you'll have to align. So in the end, even if corruption happens, the party cannot discipline. The party cannot, expel a corrupt governor. The party cannot expel a corrupt MP because it's systemic. So even if you are not corrupt, you'll have to be corrupt because you will be invited to church functions where people are giving crazy amounts of money, which you can't give with a salary. People are giving 3 million, 2 million, and you are like, am I not a member of parliament like you? I'm paid 700,000. With allowances is 1 million. If I remove all the deductions and taxes and my loans and grants and what have you, and mortgage, I'm left with 200,000. How come you guys are affording 3 million, contribution in church every weekend?
Every weekend, yeah.
But you see, it's because they are doing corruption. And if you refuse to do that corruption, it means you shouldn't work with them. If you don't work with them, how do you become a lone ranger? Because Kenya is coalition politics. So who do you coalesce with? Who are people of your like-minded values? The people who have values like yours, they are not in parliament. They are out there as activists. And the parliamentarians who you sit with in parliament in the canteen will tell you that the reason those ones are not members of parliament is because they have values. So if you want to be here, lose those values first.
Yeah.
Then come. So in the end, good people with good intentions end up either never occupying any position of leadership, or if they occupy it, the people of bad intentions are so many and overwhelming that they change even the people of good intentions and they become all the same.
Yeah. Because we're in a democratic system where the majority always win.
And you see, the majority can be wrong.
They are wrong a lot of times in Kenya. Clearly. They've been wrong for so many years. Clearly. Yeah.
The majority in Kiambu thought that Kabogo is a bad governor. And the majority thought that Waititu is bad.
Yeah. The majority in Nairobi thought that Sonko was a good governor for the capital city of Nairobi.
You see? So, and the majority still thought Sakaja was. And even after, Kidero did what he did in Mumias, the majority still thought Kidero
we need this person to
should manage public resources. You see, the word here is, si ati tuko na shida, si ati tunamchukia. I mean, how do you bring a thief to manage public resources? Angalia, we've had a by-election recently in Mbeere North. This guy, Leo Wamudhende, his real name is Leonard Muriuki Njeru. He's had, some shenanigans, amebadilisha jina, he's changed his name, now he's Leo Wamudhende. And the majority thought he should manage the CDF. And made him a member of parliament. So
this is like hiring a security guard for your home and you know very well this guy steals and expect things won't go missing.
I don't think democracy iko functional hapa Kenya. I don't know what should happen to that democracy for it to function. Either a lot of civic education or some years of maybe a regime that has very good intentions but is not very committed to democracy.
Oof, that is now scary. The problem with that is that because now you are still giving a human being too much power and you don't know how they can abuse
They can
this
be
power.
like Museveni. They can begin with good intentions and finish with the bad intentions.
Like Mugabe, good example as well.
He was so brilliant.
He was extremely brilliant, but now look at what he became as well. We have our friends who could gorilla trekking. We don't even talk too much. Good intentions, clearly you can see the country is making progress in terms of the shiny things. But when you speak to the locals there, people don't feel exactly the same, not all of them. So I think democracy works on paper. If you have the right leaders in place, which I don't know whether... I don't want to be pessimistic. I think I want to be optimistic that it can happen. It's just that I don't know if the ballot is the easier way, but I don't know if it's the practical way. Actually, let me say it that way.
Okay. I think it's all dependent on the public, the type of human beings that exist in that country. Whether it's democracy, whether it is an authoritarian regime, I think the progress or development of a country is highly dependent on the type of people that live there. What are their aspirations? What are their values? Like Kenya, we expect honesty from our leaders, that if you are given 20 billion for this project, you will deliver it without stealing or while stealing very little. We see our politicians steal everything.
Yeah.
So we expected honesty from them. So now we are disappointed that they are neither honest nor accountable. Are we
Ourselves honest?
The ones who voted for them, honest and accountable? Look at the quality of employees. If you go to like me, who is a business person, you go to the private sector, one of the biggest problems we are dealing with, the hugest hemorrhage of cash in any business in this country is the employees. The highest number of cases in police stations after the small petty or traffic offenses and assault is theft by servant. Theft by servant, wiki haishi, without 60% of the cases being theft by servant. So if these are the kind of employees we have, always trying to steal something from the employer, trying to make undercut deals, trying to tell the client in the ears, hey, don't buy from here, can get you somewhere better. You just need to give me a commission. You see, that person one day will become an MP. We have people, who are running butcheries, selling as meat, and they just can't get a cow and take it to the slaughter and give us beef. It just has to be a donkey.
Or a zebra.
I don't know why. Some even took the word hot dog literally. They now slaughter dogs and do samosas for us. In Nakuru, man.
They took it literally.
So see, the quality of leaders we have will always be dependent on the quality of the citizens. How do we treat our wives? How do we treat our husbands? How do we treat our children? How do we treat the teachers who teach our kids? How do we treat our house helps? How do we treat, how do the makanga, as you enter the public transport, how do they treat you when coming in? Are they rough? Are they honest about what your change is? Are you fearing that if you enter public transport today and give 1,000 shillings, the likelihood of your change coming back is highly unlikely that it will come back? You see now, that is the same way the politicians are behaving with your taxes. That once you pay your tax, the likelihood that it will come back to you in services, and now that's a gamble.
Yeah.
It will depend. on which side of the bed they've woken up from, or what their appetite this month looks like.
Or their needs.
So you see, and people are accumulating. Now, the end result is that we've built a criminal economy. We've not built a clean economy where you can just go to a university, build a very good skill, and the skill, makes you a very good professional. And because you're a good professional, if you're a lawyer, for instance, and you are very diligent, you prepare your court paperwork very nicely, you get the top premium clients because you're diligent and because you're serious, and they'll pay you top dollar. That is not happening because now in the justice system, the more corrupt you are, the better. So you could buy papers and use those bought fake papers to become an advocate, then become the most corrupt advocate who corrupts judges, and then the most premium brands, premium companies, you will be the lawyer of choice. Because you win cases, not because you know the law, but because you know what the judge wants. The same happens with even private sector. If you look at top 20 companies in Kenya by market capitalization, 12 are financial institutions. And those financial institutions, if you read each and every one of them, their financial statements, they are making a killing from government securities. Why? Because they are in cahoots, in corruption with the government, for the government to borrow expensively domestically. So even if they have a cheaper option to borrow internationally from other lenders, they prefer to borrow from this local bank where they own shares by proxy so that they pay a high interest so that then they make money
good dividends
through the banks. So that is what it means. We built a criminal economy. It's not an economy which is supported by science or statistic or fact. So now we even have opinion polls that are not opinion polls.
No one has ever called me for my opinion, but I see polls every day. No one has ever called me. No one has stopped me to ask me for my opinion.
And they say it's random people. I wonder how unrandom am I?
I know. I exist in this city, bro. I'm outside. No one has ever asked me for my opinion, but I read polls every day. I'm okay.
So now, these poll, firms and research firms,
you
realize that you can pay for research to show something. I've been approached in my office by award companies. People come to my office and say, and this is realistic, they come to me and say, we are having these awards coming up for private sector. And if you give us, 100,000 or 200,000, we're going to make you the best upcoming furniture manufacturer.
You'll be upcoming for 10 years.
Yeah. So
that's
people are even
now
paying for awards. So you hear, this company won an award, best tour company, best what? But people are buying awards. People are buying exam papers. And what saddens me is now the people who buy exam papers for their children. There has to be levels to this thing. Umeenda paka extent where now you are buying exam papers
for your own kids.
For your own kids so that they pass exams. Actually, you want an exam result that's a lie. So even you're not interested in the truth.
You don't even know, you don't care that your kids understand what is being taught. You just want them to have good papers.
You just want them to have papers.
Yes.
We have people bribing for all manner of paperwork. Right now, most job applications in the government, they are being auctioned. Because let's say, for example, the Ministry of this and this, let me use Ministry of Water, has announced certain clerical positions, 22 positions, finance officer 1, what job group this with this salary. You find the cabinet secretary already has 20 people that he wants to put. The PS has 10 or 15. The director, I don't know, for Adi Water Services, the director for Kenya Water Towers Agency, the director for Irrigation Authority, the director for what they have 3. And the HRM has already taken money for 10, who he has promised. So even they, among the ministry, cannot agree on how to share the positions. But we have 5,000 applicants who are hopeful, who've come from universities, institutions of
very
higher
qualified.
learning,
Some of them very qualified, experienced.
and hopeful that they'll get this one. But if those ones inside there cannot agree
on the numbers,
because
on how to redistribute.
Even when you are in a position of power, your family expects to come to you and say, put, your cousin or your nephew in so and so place. They don't want them to be hired competitively. And if you don't do that, they'll condemn you and say, you held a position of power and never helped anybody from this family. Count how many people you employed in that ministry. So actually, you are supposed to employ people. So it means whenever there's a job advert, you're supposed to be having slots which you've kept for your people who may or may not be qualified. And even if they are qualified, may not be interested in the job. So now we have a weak security sector because we have an intelligence service, a national intelligence service that's full of, people of privilege who didn't want the job. They were just put there because their parents are tired of seeing them. And they would want them to have somewhere they wake up to every day.
Some of them have to protect their own interests. So the people that have been put there for a specific reason.
So they are not even collecting actionable intelligence that could help a government make a decision in foresight. We've weakened the army through tribalism.
Yeah, and also, what is the thing for they always want you to have a full set of teeth? Kwani army, do they use their teeth to fight? What is that thing? Also, the thing for the height requirement. So do you want to tell me there are no positions that short people can do in the army?
No.
Are they going to play basketball? I've never seen the Kenyan army. What is this thing about height and a set of teeth?
I even think there might be positions or jobs in the military which would actually need a shorter person.
Bruh, even though there's jobs that a blind person could do. The military has all... Think about any job that exists, the military employs people. Lawyers, drivers... All those are people that could be hired.
Shorter people can aim better.
I'm like, are we raising vampires? What is the thing? I just don't get it. I completely don't get it.
This is what happens with military recruitment. So you find the military has announced that it's going to do a recruitment of maybe 2,000 servicemen and 1,000 cadets. So what happens is that those members of parliament who are close to the president will collect letters from the Department of Defense or the Ministry of Defense for slots for their constituencies. So if you're close to the president, probably you'll get, 20 or 10. If you are farthest from the president, you get nothing. If you come from a community or a tribe that was not in the coalition that voted for the president, you get 0 or 1. So you find, like where I come from, in a whole sub-county, only 2 people were taken. But you cross the border into Bomet or Kericho or somewhere, and you find one sub-county, they had 140 people taken. So you see, when these people join the military, you find there's so many people from one community, they can even speak one language there.
That's how the police, if you think about the Kenyan police, they have an accent. Remember?
They have a Kalenjin accent.
That's how you mimic police in Kenya.
Even if somebody comes from a different tribe, they just acquire the accent because it's like they've entered Kalenjin land.
Yep, it's true.
There's even a time, the president was so shameless in Kenya, he made almost all the OCSs and OCPDs in Nairobi to be from one community.
Which president? Ruto?
President William Ruto. I think it's 2024 or 2025. The time when Kinatalamu were put.
Yes.
When Adamson Bungei was put in charge
Lagat was promoted.
Lagat was promoted. Adamson Bungei was put in charge of Nairobi.
Yeah.
Then Kinatalamu were put, he was put at Central. No, you were going to like 80% or 70% of the polling stations in Nairobi, and the OCPD or the OCS was most likely a Kalenjin. So even as people get promoted, you find people of one community have become so many in those positions. So the end result is that you weaken that institution because these people may not be necessarily interested. Not all of them may be interested in working. Of course, there are Kalenjins who get that position and do their job very well. But there are some who would be put there by privilege from community, Mzazi amekutafutia kazi, you've been jobless through and through. So your parents have contributed 300,000 to give the MP so that he can give you a letter to go to police. You are neither a policeman, you're not interested in police. And those are the kind of police that become trigger happy because their job satisfaction is low. They never dreamt of becoming a police officer. They hated police officers, but here they are as a police officer. Why? Because of the pay slip. They're the ones who have a drinking problem. We have police officers who they come to arrest you, they are drunk. Or they come to question you, they themselves, they are already drunk.
I've offered one water before. I was like, bruh, should I give you gum as well? Because how are we going to have this conversation?
Should I have offered him soup?
I'm like, how are we going to have this conversation? Stinks of alcohol.
Yeah. Even I remember Boniface Mwangi complaining that the officers who came to his office
Oh yeah, that time he
were
was arrested.
actually drunk.
Yeah.
You know, that's why officers would commit crimes like beating up a suspect. You can't be sober and do that if you're trained. You have to be high on something. And these are people who are not interested in the job. And also because they had godfathers, they've managed to stay within the city or within the center of action. So they never get transported to remote areas where real work happens.
Yeah.
Do you know there are really remote areas in this country where if you go there as a police officer, you will do more than that. You will become a missionary.
yeah. You double up, a police officer and a pastor.
Hey, you will be finding people who are so lost, have absolutely nowhere to go. Arresting them is the best thing you can do.
Because they say umotolea form. Because now you've changed the environment a little bit.
In the cell, they have a roof over their head.
Food.
And food from the government. So you'd rather arrest them if they are to survive.
Okay.
You know, you even get to people, you see their condition and you just give them fare. You say, hey, bro, I'm going through a lot, but what you're going through, let's take this what I have.
Yeah.
And you are a police officer, you know. And that is when people want the job. Those who don't want the job are the ones who get promoted.
Oh yeah, of course.
Then when they get promoted, the only thing they become is a conduit of corruption.
Yeah, they just implement, nowadays the famous phrase, word from above, instructions from above. So them, their job is literally just to do whatever they've been told.
So I want Kenyans to understand that when we talk about a rotten system, this is what we are talking about. We are talking about a rotten everything. From ministry to ministry, from state department to state department, to a Huduma center where you go, to where you went for your birth certificate, to where you went to take your ID, to IEBC, to independent institutions, to where you should complain when you have a problem, Office of the Ombudsman, Commission for Administrative Justice, to even where you're supposed to get a passport, where you're being asked for. This is what we are talking about when we talk about a corrupt,
System.
broken down system that cannot serve the people. It can only serve maybe politicians.
The interests of a few people.
And civil servants. The end result is that such a system must break.
It has to break.
Now, the careful part is how it breaks. Because you can be so angry with the system, but you are not civically educated to know what you want. So yes, you have anger, genuine anger, and you are frustrated.
How do you transform that now?
And rightfully so. No, you're frustrated, and you are rightfully frustrated. But you, in the process of wanting to, change the system or break down the system that has given you frustration, you end up making your life even worse.
Yeah.
We've seen it with countries like Sudan. You are angry with the dictator that is in power, but you've not thought of an end goal in mind. You've not thought of a plan of how to bring a better leadership. It's the same thing that may have affected the Gen Z in 2024. Not thinking a game through. First, you have to acknowledge history. You have to acknowledge that you have bad voters that are voting for criminals. And you have to admit that these bad voters need civic education at the bare minimum. Then number 3, you have to admit that, yes, the presidency and the government and whatever that is in power, that is oppressing you, was put in power by people. People who don't think like you. They think along tribal lines. They think huyu ni Mkikuyu wetu, huyu ni Mjikalenjin kama sisi. So, if you acknowledge that history and that reality, if you want to change that leadership, then you have to be more organized.
Yeah.
It's not enough to rant. It's not enough to, receive tear gas and be happy about it. It's not enough to do t-shirts. It's not enough to break into parliament. If the government, for instance, was to cave in out of your strength, Are you ready to take it over? Have you thought it through? Who do you want to take power after you've brought it down? And what values are you looking for in the person that will take power when the people you are removing have collapsed? Because you see, that's how we move from Ruto to Gachagua. Because the people of Mount Kenya are very angry with William Ruto. But look at who they are with.
But yeah.
I mean, they are with Gachagua. I mean, what's the difference, man?
But also you aligned yourself with him.
I didn't align. Wrong. I went to listen.
I thought you said you guys, Inject Party, was joining the opposition, the United Opposition.
United Opposition, yes, that is true. We were interested in having a coalition and working together. And we were cognizant of the fact that...
But the guy, his values... I mean, I think that's now where the disconnect started. That's why now even Kenyans on X started going up against you.
It's very difficult.
Because politically, politically, it makes sense as a move. Because again, collisions is the norm here. If you're going to go through the ballot. But also, we can't ignore the fact that these people in this collision don't have values that we want. Also, these people are the same people being in power for so many years in different capacities, and they've had nothing to show for it. So it's very hard for you to convince me that someone like Gachagua now suddenly has the best interest for Kenyans. Okay. When, if whatever happened between him and Ruto, if they were able to solve it in a boardroom, behind closed doors, nothing would have changed in the way the system is run. He's now outside and is not a profiteer anymore, and that's why Gachagua is.
My acknowledgement is that we are young, and that we are learning, and the things we are learning, we have no teacher, because we are learning to change a system based on values that we've thought are the best. We want values of accountability. Who is this who is in power, who is so accountable, that can take you up and mentor you and tell you, look, I've been in politics for 40 years, I'm very accountable. I'll help you, or I'll show you where to step. It means we, as Gen Zs, we need to acknowledge that we were self-taught in some way. We were our own parents on this particular matter. So what we didn't extend to each other was grace. Grace to be wrong, to make mistakes, to realize, come back, realign. Whatever went wrong, we destroyed. Whatever we disagreed with, we destroyed it. But you see, it's a process to become a leader of experience.
Yeah.
Because you try things. For example, most people who are watching this podcast, they've only seen Gachagua on TV. They don't know him as well as I do, me who has spent time with him. And I wouldn't be knowing him as well as I do if I hadn't spent time with him. So I should should extend each other that grace to allow people be in those situations, learn, and make a choice for themselves whether they want to benefit, because you have two choices here. Align, profit, or rebel and try to change.
I'd go with the latter.
It's better to rebel and try to change the system.
Yes.
But you see, when you rebel and try to change the system, you need a support system. You need people to back you up. And those people need to be reliable. One of the challenges we've had, and which I hope we don't continue to have with the Gen Zs, is reliability. So they are very disappointed. But on the by-election day, you don't see them at the line. So you start having second thoughts. Do they exist only on social media? Can I rely on them as voters? If I was to have a political party today and stake my reputation, my time, my energy, my safety to run for political office, am I sure that these guys will come out and vote?
Yeah.
Or will they have or will they consume some propaganda against me one day to the election and cancel me on the morning of the election? So that reliability, of course, we are learning to walk, and we've also learned from some of those mistakes. The next mistake we need to learn now is the political party mistake. That's the mistake I have learned, but most people have not learned.
So just before you go into that, the issue on reliability. So this is what I'd say is a big problem to a lot of people. The issue on reliability, there's a big problem with trust. And this big problem with trust did not just come from the blues. So we were all part of the protest. And we know what we wanted, we know what we didn't want. Of course, it didn't go that way, and we'll get down into that. Now, when it gets to a point where clearly you can tell some of the people who are for the movement have been compromised, and the government played this game very well. Infiltrate, create trust issues. So if people don't know who to trust anymore, then slowly you weaken the movement. Now, when we all know that we have an issue with trust, now you see why it's such a big problem when now the following day, the young people now see you with Gachagua. At Bomas, you got physically assaulted. Because we said we want both Gachagua and Ruto out. The option was not it, we want Gachagua out, which is what the government was pushing. Everyone else pushed for we want Gachagua out. You stood up and said, no, we want all of them out. You got assaulted for it. Now imagine a few weeks later, now we see you with the same person. Again, it builds back to the issue of trust. So then we don't know now whether we can trust you at all.
I get you.
Yeah.
And I understand you completely. My question is, if for instance we follow your line of thought,
okay,
and say Ruto and Gachagua left, and we are following the constitution, because one of the things we were even going to maandamano with is our constitution.
Yes.
We're saying fuateni hii kitabu. So our constitution says Wetangula becomes president for 90 days. For
90 days? But at the time we don't have IBC constitution.
You do know Wetangula, don't you?
Of course.
He's not new.
Yes.
Yeah, he was in a scandal some time of trying to sell the embassy when he was the Minister for Foreign Affairs. Imagine selling an embassy.
This reminds me of the Nigerian guy who sold the airport.
Nobody.
A fake airport.
You know, at least an airport is not an embassy.
Also, you remember the Dubai tips that Wetangula was involved in? The Dubai tips as
Fake gold.
Fake gold. But then you see the thing
and
is...
then not just that.
Yeah.
If you go to Bungoma,
yeah,
the Wetangula you know here in Nairobi is not the Wetangula in Bungoma. Bungoma, people fear Wetangula like the devil and the blue sea.
Why?
Because he doesn't attack an individual, he attacks a village.
Damn.
Guy is dangerous. And this village is not supporting Wetangula. He's not the type, you know we have politicians who attack bloggers. Oh, you are not supporting me on social media, or you are opposing me on social media, you are attacked as an individual. Or goons who come and attack an individual. Wetangula has a gang that can attack a village. A whole village. Your mother calls you to say our village was attacked. So and so has
That is
been,
so crazy. I didn't know that.
Talk to people from Bungoma.
Yeah.
I swear I'm not lying. Been there on the ground. Sijui nani alidungwa kisu, who was stabbed, so and so was stabbed. This is a guy who's built capacity to attack a village. You think, why does he get 90% of the vote when he was running for senator? It's not because people want him as senator. It's because they fear not voting for him as senator.
It's like, he'll know if you didn't vote for him.
The consequences will be serious. Because
yeah,
votes are counted at a polling station.
Yes.
So then he would know that Shikwekwe, primary school, did not vote for me.
So he goes to Shikwe, the guys who live in Shikwekwe.
They will see Shege. They will not be safe.
With his goons when you're on a 32 teeth. Qualified to join the army.
You saw what happened to Malava?
Yes.
Eugene Wamalwa's car was burnt down.
Yeah.
A whole Prado. These candidates, Seth Panyako, his driver was stabbed with several stab wounds. He had to go for surgery. And so many people were stabbed in one night. They attacked a whole hotel. That's nothing close to what he's capable of. That was like, him doing some little thing. So,
warning shot.
Wetangula would have been our president for 90 days.
Yes.
You do know, Kenya, that if you hold the presidency even for 3 days, you are already very dangerous. because we have arrogated so much power to the presidency, even psychologically. Forget even about constitutionally. Constitutionally, we've decentralized to other independent institutions and stuff. But in the mind of an ordinary Kenyan, they arrogate power to a president similar to a king.
It's like supreme power, basically.
It's like supreme leader Ali Khamenei. So now, if this guy was to occupy that office even for 1 month, we'll be in trouble.
But then, this is why I don't think would be... Okay, so I don't mind trouble for 3 months compared to
the problem is that in those 3 months, you'd have to reconstitute an IEBC.
Yes.
Our constitution says, who appoints?
The president appoints the chair and the 6 commissioners.
From the selection panel. So, of course, if he wanted an IEBC, he would get what he wants, right?
Yes.
Because the selection panel only gives him names. And whoever he wants to put there, he can suggest. He can put Ditmas as the chair of IEBC. He can literally... Right now, who is the senator? Who is the senator for Bungoma?
It's his PA. But the question would be... So, practically now, right? Because as well, if it happened that route, then we obey the constitution because that's what we abide by. Now, I'm very aware that the law in Kenya exists on paper, but justice is not maybe mostly about truth. Justice is mostly about who can afford it. So I'm aware of that. Now, we have 90 days. We don't have an IEBC, right? We've taken out the president and the deputy. Parliament has been occupied. So now whoever is in charge knows that the populace is watching. Also, now the mind shift changes in the minds of the people. They're like, within 90 days, we want to go back to the polls and elect now someone that we want. The constitution says Wetangula will be in charge, he's in charge. Parliament has been occupied. Now, I don't think they would move the same way. Okay. Because even if they did move the same way, with the height of the protest and where people were at that point, if we went back to the polls, you know when guys are saying that kura yako si siri yako, we want to know who you're voting for so that we know who is going to betray us. As much as people can say and then do something else on the ballot. But I think there was going to be a level of vigilance that could have seen real change.
Chaxy,
that's what I think.
There's another generational problem here.
Okay.
You and I, because we are young, and because we've seen the problems of this country, we have a very different thinking from majority of the voters that vote here. When we shook Ruto's government, where is the first place he started doing his rallies? It is in the village. Yeah, right? When you were shaking him in the city, he went for rallies in the village. Why did he go for rallies in the village? Because he understands that 70% of the vote base in Kenya is rural. And he understands that the rural vote base does not think like the urban vote base for many reasons. And we have that problem also in Uganda. Bobi Wine usually has a lot of hype. You can actually think Bobi Wine this time round, he's winning it. But that's because you're watching CNN, Al Jazeera, NTV.
And Twitter.
Someone in Kasese.
The names. You just have these names randomly.
In Kasese. In a village.
Yeah.
They know Museveni. And they like Museveni because they didn't like Milton Obote or Idi Amin. And Museveni came and, saved them in 1980s.
And Museveni tells them, I have a few more things to do.
That's why he says protecting the gains.
Hey, we're protecting the gains.
The gains.
I'm like, Uganda, which gains?
So now, Kenya's vote, 70% is in the village. So you have to go back to how villagers think. There's a reason Gachagua calls himself the villager. He knows how powerful it is. So you have to think about how villagers think. Now, yes, we would have wanted this change in our country. But we have to ask ourselves whether we alone, without the village, could do it.
Now, that's why we would have brought in the village.
Because the village didn't understand us. One of the things the village was saying is that hao ni vijana wa Kikuyu wanataka kutoa President Mkale. In fact, I remember Kamket saying that Kenyatta was a president for 18 years because he was a Kikuyu. Nobody tried to remove him. Moi was president because he was a Kalenjin. People tried to remove him in 1982. Kibaki was a president for 10 years Nobody tried to remove him because he was a Kikuyu. Uhuru has been president with Ruto. He has also copied madeni and corruption for 10 years. Nobody has tried to remove him because yeye ni Mkikuyu. And now that we have a Kalenjin, they are trying to remove a Kalenjin. Do you know how many people I met in Eldoret? I have a branch for my business in Eldoret. Aki, if you met them and you see how they agree with the statement, anytime I go there, I go maybe to a hotel to drink tea, nini. Even people see me and they come over, and in a minute I have 10, 15 people and we are just talking. Those people believed it with their hearts, the way people believe in a church, the way they believe in a prophet. So until we, the Gen Z, accept that we are better informed, but we can't win if we keep that information to ourselves. And that at some point, we have to make sure the uninformed are informed as we are, so that when we try to make change, they don't oppose. When we are trying to make change, they don't work against us. They support us to do that change. So we don't look like spoiled kids troubling the peaceful city. They understand what's wrong with our country, why we are trying to fix it, why alternative ways of fixing it have failed, and what they should do to support us. And I believe, because we are their children, we all came from some village somewhere, except a few people are born in the city. Most of us, 90%, came from a village somewhere. So those people are our relatives. They are our parents, they are our uncles, they are our aunties. If we just spend a little more time at home, whenever we go for these, events, people have this tendency of going home for a funeral, going home for Easter, going home. If we spend more time bringing them to the level of understanding that we have about why these politicians are full of shit, they would help us. But they worship a V8. If a politician steals money and buys a V8 or a helicopter, even villagers want to take a picture with it.
Do they worship you now?
They want to see it.
That's what you drive. Do they worship you? Morara, okay. I saw the video you posted the other day. 2 V8s, security. And I'm like, why does Morara need to move like this?
Like an African politician.
So do they worship you?
No, there's some excitement in the village.
No, it's true.
When I show up. And people come home. People who had no plans of coming home. They show up, they say, tumesikia kijana amekuja, kuja tutuguze mkono yake. Of course, they have not just come to say hi.
They want money.
They want money. So whenever I go to the village, I have to be prepared that I will spend money, a lot of it. That is why we need those people to have a better understanding, because it's not so easy to line up people in Komarok Estate here and give them pesa the way you would do in the village. In the village, it's a right. In the village, if you don't do it, you are selfish. God has blessed you with wealth that you've stolen through corruption.
Why are you not distributing?
You've refused to share. You only want to eat with your yellow wife in the city. You see, yet they educated you. You get?
Yes.
In the village, when you go to them, what are their needs? Do they know that they have needs that are developmental in nature? Do they know that they need a market for their fruits? They need a fruit processing plant. Is it on top of their agenda? Do they know that they need clean drinking water? Do they know that they need
quality education
a good
for their kids?
Slaughter house for their cattle, where they can do proper slaughter and even pack the meat for export? Do they know what good education looks like?
Good healthcare is a problem in my village up to date.
You see, when they go to a dispensary and there are no medicine, they think it's a favor they are being done.
They don't have to demand for the medicine.
They don't know. So their expectations are low. So if today, Chaxy, you become a member of parliament and you go to the village and you say, watu wangu, so just give microphone to a few people here to tell me some of the problems that you are having here so that I see how to help you. They'll tell you about the choir. for Mokobokobo SDA church, which needs uniform. They'll tell you the children at Kianya Vinge SDA are going for Pathfinder. And they need money to go for the Pathfinder mission for the Seventh-day Adventist Church. They will not tell you important, immediate things. Do you know that you can fail to do development in my region, but if you attend every funeral, you'll be elected? Because they are very emotional about funerals. If you miss a funeral, if you dare, if you even think or imagine that you can miss a funeral, where utatujua. So whenever they have a problem with their MP, what do they say? They don't say, mbunge wetu hafanyi kazi, haleti sheria bungeni, alikuwa mmoja wale walipitisha sheria ambayo ileta ushuru ya kutuhujumu. They don't say that. They don't say our member of parliament is not lobbying for development or is not doing this. They say, since we elected him, he has gotten lost from here. He doesn't even attend funerals. So failing to attend a funeral is a very, very serious offense. So even a member of parliament, whenever they are outside or they are on a journey or they are unwell, they must map all funerals in their constituency every week. And if they don't show up in person, their money must come.
Send a representative.
Their money must be announced. Politicians' money is never put in the basket as a quiet contribution.
We have to see it.
They must be given the microphone so that they announce that Honorable so-and-so was unable to come due to commitments, but has sent his 3,000. Then and only then will you be at peace with your voters. So what does that tell you about the voters? Your voters have low standards. So you could be very well educated. Our leaders are not dumb and they are not stupid. Some of them went to Oxford. Some went to Harvard.
KU, why you not
some went to KU, got first class honors, even second class. They pass. These are some of these people. The uneducated MPs that we have are not in the majority. They are in the minority. Even Karen Nyamu, who say, we have a dumb chick in the Senate. She's called Karen Nyamu. She's not dumb. She has a law degree. And you don't get a law degree by being dumb.
But maybe some of them are just book smart, but they're not generally smart people.
No, you see.
Maybe they just crammed a lot.
You can't fake smartness. Yeah, then you have to even have the brain that can cram.
Yeah, true.
So then you should cram the project.
And the law.
In your region. Yeah? So, I mean, people are just faking primitivity. And the reason they are faking that primitivity is so that they can be in tandem, they can be in step with the people who actually vote for them. Look at the kind of projects governors are doing. Devolution had a very great potential of transforming this country completely. We could be like the different Emirates in the United Arab Emirates. We could be like the different states in the United States. Because every county government was given so much power that it can run independently as a government on its own. It even has its own parliament. It's called the county assembly. So the vision was the county assembly will make law, will pass budget, will do this. It will run as a mini government. But look at the kind of projects governors are doing. And they are shameless. They post it on Facebook and everywhere. In fact, Facebook is their favorite.
Yeah, of course.
They say, distributing gumboots to farmers today at Nyamira.
Let me tell you, you can't put that on X or Instagram. They'll come for you. But Facebook.
Of course.
Gumboots.
Distributing gumboots. And then you read the comments, people are saying, you are doing development, you are working, you are working, you are working. Since when did it become fashionable to provide farming footwear to farmers who have definitely more big problems?
Yeah, like fertilizer is a big problem.
Even just where to take the farm produce.
Yeah.
I mean, go to Tana River County. Mangoes are rotting. They sell a mango at 2 shillings to brokers.
Does Brian Mutenda and Kimanzi know this? that there's mangoes rotting into a river.
They should go there with a lorry. I'm assuring them they won't come back empty.
They use their Mercedes, normal. Wanalalisha viti, follow each other.
Mercedes.
That's what they use for mangoes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, these two kids are obsessed with mangoes. Anyway, sorry.
Shimba Hills. People are selling an orange at 1 shilling. They're selling a passion fruit at 50 cents. Because if you don't sell, it will go bad. So you have to sell. There are no cold rooms. So when brokers come, you have to fill their lorry with whatever price they tell you. In fact, if they tell you today they don't have money, they just have 25 cents, you comply. So those are challenges that farmers have. Because then it means farming is unprofitable. It means you can farm all year and make 3,000 shillings from it.
Yeah.
Or 10,000, which is not even enough to pay school fee for your 5 or 6 children. But as long as this member of parliament, with his good education and good exposure, has voters who are uninformed, it's very easy to take advantage of them. It's very easy to give them very little, and they are very grateful for the little. That is why there is no poverty eradication program that is comprehensible in this country. The government has no priority of eradicating poverty. It's not on their agenda to eradicate poverty. Why? Because people who have money
will vote better.
Will vote better because they have now access. You see, let's talk of something as small as bundles. If you don't have bundles or you don't have a smartphone, it's difficult to access information. So in the village, this last mile connectivity for electricity has not reached you. So even if you had a smartphone, you charge it, it goes off, you wait 1 day to put it again on. And you don't want to go online, which consumes a lot of bundle, because then you have to travel 5 kilometers to go and find a charging port or the nearest market where you will charge it. That enough impedes the flow of communication and your access to information. So you won't know as much as Morara knows. Morara knows things the minute they happen, if not the second they happen. Because a notification just ring on his phone, ding ding, and he'll be like, Chaxy has said this. Let me watch the video. And they'll listen to your conversation. But that person down there will not get that information. So where do they get information from? Once they get a phone, the first thing they do is either talk to each other or talk to the people in the town and in the city. Those people are me and you. Now, if we talk to them and we don't tell them these things, then nobody will tell them.
Yeah.
Because the government is now even closing some radio stations that speak truth at Standard Media Group. Spice FM, I heard, there's a plan by the Communication Authority.
But they've just not been doing well. People are now listening to podcasts.
Exactly.
I'm just saying
the reason I'm talking about radio is because to watch a podcast, you need bundles.
True.
To listen to radio, you just need the device. You just need a radio, even the size of this cup, and you'll access information. But you see, in that radio, the government even has a budget of sending panelists to the radio.
Spread their propaganda.
People are paid. You will go to Inoro FM. You will go to Ramogi. You will go to Bahari FM. Go talk to the Costarians. And you go to Moogi for the Meru. And you'll go to Gekoyo TV. And you go to Minto FM. And you go to Egesa. And you go to,
You just know this station.
I know them.
That's impressive. Yeah.
So these panelists or propagandists who've been given a message, they even have a WhatsApp group, I've seen it myself, where they plan what the messaging is. So guys, all of you who are going to TV, who are going to radio, the message is this. So people go there. So you're being fed information by the government through radio. And also media, the reason I like podcasts is because they can afford to be independent.
Yes.
You see, TV and radio, they are so dependent on government advertising that there are extents or conversations they can't venture into.
They have to be pro-government.
For instance, why did it take Morara to do Vampire Diaries, yet Royal Media Services has much more resources? Standard Media Group has a lot of resources. Nation Media Group,
same.
Hundreds
Media
of millions.
Max, all of them. Yeah.
Hundreds of millions. If they wanted to put 2 or 3 or 4 journalists on it, they can do it as a program airing every week forever. Forever. But why? Because they are subjects that if you go too deep into them, you unsettle
lose money.
the people who are supposed to pay. The same way when David McCulley, when he was at KTN, when they touched Coca-Cola and Coca-Cola cancelled all the adverts, the board had to meet and fire him. Not because he has made a mistake, but because
one of our biggest clients.
Yeah. He who pays the piper dictates the tune. We are taking this joke too far. So that access to information, we as Gen Zs have to see it as a problem that requires a solution. For me, I'm not really focused on how we went wrong, what we should have done better. Because yes, it makes good for history. When the history is written, you'll say, oh, Morara was doing very well, got to a particular point, went to see Gachagua, then Chaxy lost trust in him. You see,
Gachagua and other weird
it's
people.
It's good for history.
Yeah.
And maybe even Morara learned.
True.
Because nowadays I'm not with them, so why?
We don't know.
Because I should you see, for most Kenyans, once you reach that level, people idolize these politicians. People idolize Kalonzo, they idolize Gachagua, they wish someday to meet them and just take a selfie with them. So me, who has been with them in rooms and with them and taking tea and become friends, why am I not with them? Why didn't I lay low so that they can mentor me? It's because they'll mentor me to become like them. And that's not part of my dream.
Yeah.
So if I left, it means I learned. But that's not important. What is important is what are we doing now and what will we do tomorrow? And what we are doing now is that tuko kadi. Na kama uko cardless, ukue kadi saa hii. Juu game inaisha. Na hakuna haja game iishe ukiwa na joka kwa mkono. Ukikuwa na joka kwa mkono na game imeisha, the joke is on you.
Facts.
Angusha hiyo joka ikuondoke, uondoe mzigo mapema, usitoke game. Kwa sababu hii game ni kuisha inaisha. Nishatangaza hii game inaisha. So, kitu ya kwanza, watu wa kadi. If ulichukulia kura, labda you were a student at Meru University, ukachukulia kura Meru, nowadays ushahama uko Bungoma, ama uko Kakamega, ama uko Garissa Wajir, hamisha kura.
Yeah. So even those who are out of the country, still just move to whatever country.
So that it comes to a place of your convenience.
Yes.
So that you have no excuse. You are not saying, Transline is full. I can't travel to Gesonso or Nyamache to vote.
Yeah.
Bring your vote where you think the day of voting will find you.
Yes.
Either your ordinary place of work or ordinary place of residence.
Yeah.
That's a very important step. But you see, uninformed voters are dangerous. So don't just get the vote.
Them, they're like, I'm registered. But their polling station is very far from where they'll be. So either way, they can't still vote.
And now, number 2 is information. Make sure you are an informed voter. You know what is wrong and what you are fixing and how you hope to fix it. That way, you listen to a manifesto. I'll tell you a very sad thing that Gachagua told me. Gachagua told me, I asked him this question. I asked him, why is it that already people are aligning, people are planning, we have not yet harmonized our messaging on what we will do differently if we were to capture government? I mean, yes, SHA ni mbaya. Alafu, ukipewa nafasi utaleta SHI.
I can have Libam if you want.
And how different will be SHI from SHA?
Yeah.
So you have to tell people where you can't just tell them this place is bad. You have to tell them this place is bad. I can take you to somewhere better over there.
What are you offering?
So when I asked him that question, he told me a very honest, truthful, but very sad thing. He told me Kenyans don't vote for something, they vote against something. Now that's a very sad reality.
They don't vote for something, they vote against something.
They vote against something. They don't vote for, they vote against.
Yeah.
So then it means you could be the devil himself. But you just need to make sure that one is more devil than you. So that if kids don't like that one, they risk with you. They say lesser evil, lesser devil. And that's how we've convinced ourselves at politicians, what any corrupt. Just choose the lesser devil. So the lesser devil, once he gains political power,
becomes the bigger devil.
Becomes the bigger devil than the devil you are avoiding. And we've done that politics of voting against someone. I can tell you, voting for Kibaki was not something we did consciously.
It was anything but Moi.
We did it subconsciously. We were just lucky. Coca-Cola, Fanta, Coca-Cola, Fanta, Coca-Cola, Fanta. We landed on, we were just lucky on a lucky day.
Yeah.
We landed on a good president. But for you to know that we were actually not good voters is we didn't vote him back. Yeah, if he was a good president, everybody keeps saying, Kibaki.
Because to for sure we voted for Raila. People voted for Raila.
We didn't vote for Kibaki. True. I mean, this guy literally took it.
Yeah.
But the person who won the election was Raila. So why did we have an issue with Kibaki if he was developmental? It means our consideration, our decision-making was not based on somebody who can deliver. We were just voting against
someone. We were tired of Moi, Kanu, we just wanted a new option.
And even in 2013, we were voting against ICC.
Yeah, true.
We were voting against ICC and voted for the ICC suspect.
Yeah. We literally said, these are our people, we should try them at home. You remember that narrative?
Mtoto wetu.
Yeah, mtoto wetu, we should try them at home. Like, why are we allowing them to be tried by foreigners? Don't we have courts here?
Then we said, Uhuru is so rich, he can't steal.
He can't steal. And then we said, Ruto is a hustler, he'll care for hustlers. Wheelbarrow. We'll get wheelbarrows.
Damn it. You see, I see people complaining that Ruto is corrupt. I mean, look, Ruto hajakuwa na corruption allegations 2023. He has had them. Kwani, ile shamba ya Ruai,
let me tell you,
the 6,000 acres, when did they grab it? 1997.
Bro, there was the maize scandal. Was it fertilizer or maize?
It was maize.
It was maize, the maize scandal.
The one that bought the helicopter that was branded URP. When the guy used to walk around with a cape that had Kenyan flag like this. You remember when cartoons were being done of Ruto? He has a cape with the Kenyan flag.
I remember.
You know how much URP invested and how it bought MPs? Massive, because there was money. So, till when will we vote against? And now we as the young people, as we register as voters, we have also to be careful what we are going to vote for. We have to know that this system can slim our options.
They will.
They can constrain our options if we are not careful from now. Like, you have to do these things simultaneously. You have to register as a voter and ensure the democratic space is open enough for you to get an option that you will actually vote for. Because you can have the vote, then on voting day, they tell you now choose between Ruto and Gachagua. For someone like me, if I was to choose between Ruto and Gachagua, I would just sleep. I wouldn't, because there is nothing to choose there. But if you have a third and fourth option, and people should not assume that the good people who are trying to make inroads in the country, who look like they can be people of integrity, people should not assume they will be on the ballot. They can be compromised, they can be intimidated, or they can be blocked. Several candidates were blocked from being on the ballot by Chebukati, if you remember clearly. Do you remember this? Okay, what's the name of this guy? Kigame, Ruben Kigame.
How are they blocked?
This is what happens. So how they block you from contesting is they gazette a date by law under the Elections Act. for receiving nomination papers.
The signatures. No, nomination papers, sorry.
So nomination papers include signatures, receipt for payment of fees for nomination as a candidate for that position, your academic qualifications. Sometimes they ask for CRB clearance. Sometimes they ask for tax clearance. It depends with what the requirements are by returning officer. The returning officer for the national presidential election is the chairperson of the IEBC. So under the Elections Act, they gazette a date. That date will be the date for presentation of nomination by candidates. Okay? So now the only thing they have to do is occasion a technicality. That's the only thing they have to do. They just need to say, your degree certificate is not original. Go get us a confirmation from the university.
Yeah, that's true. From here, it's saying one of the people who were rejected were Jimmy Wanjigi, Safina Party, clearance revoked due to lack of a university degree, Walter Mongare from Umoja Summit Party, clearance initially given but later revoked due to academic qualification issues. And yeah, it's a whole list. Ekuru Akot, Ruben Kigame. Yeah, the same thing is saying.
So those are some of the guys.
Yeah.
So Jimmy got blocked. Now I remember that. Yeah, Jimmy got blocked.
Do you believe that Dr. Ekuru Aukot got a PhD without a degree?
Of course not.
Surely. So they just wanted to make the ballot paper shorter. They were running out of paper. Sisi dawa watu wengi wakasikana. Toa wengine.
They just block. Yeah.
So it can happen. It's possible that your options can be constrained at the ballot so that you have to choose between bad people. What it does to you is then it makes you a tired voter, unmotivated. You have no reason to wake up and vote. And now the people who shouldn't vote will vote in majority. You know, during these by-elections, I have a friend I went to campus with. He was also a student leader, you might remember him. His name was Kebaso Mike. So Kebaso Mike, nowadays he works in Kisii. I called him on the day of the by-elections.
Huh? Are you relatives? Kebaso, is he a relative?
Wait, let me finish the story. So I called Mike, told him, niaje, kunaendelea aje kwa ground the day of the by-elections. These by-elections we've had
recently, yeah.
For the ward. For Nyamira, it was ward elections. It was wards that were vacant because of, there's some people their MCS died in an accident, then they had to go for a by-election. So I call him and ask him, si uko ground, unaonaje maneno? The guy tells me, I have passed through 4 polling stations now. I see a lot of people outside the polling station, but not inside. I have tried to talk to 3 sets of groups now. And I've asked them, hey, excuse me, have you voted? And they've told me, no, they've not voted. Then I asked him, why are they not voting? When I asked them why they are not voting, they told me nobody has seen us. We are waiting to be seen. You know what seeing means? The politician has not seen them. He needs to come and see them, give them cash, so that they enter the line. They have not come here for free. Wamekuja kutega. Unaona vile mademo anaweza tega pale Koinange.
Siku hizi ni Instagram tu.
Siku hizi of course tunategwa kwingi. Hata Tinder swindlers wako.
Yeah.
Mambo ni mengi town. Town imekuwa mbaya. But sasa kuna vile walikuwa wanatega Koinange juu sasa online advertising haiko.
Haiko kwa hiyo time, yeah. It had to be in person.
Kama duka yako haiko next to the road.
Yeah.
Hujulikani. That's why all shops were on the road.
Yes.
Sasa,
yeah.
Hao pia wanatega. Wanangoja politician na waone the way, the people then would see a prostitute, our collect, ama wapedo, so that they join the line to vote. It's a mentality that has been cultivated in our people. And it doesn't come from poverty, because I hear people say, it's a problem of poverty. These people, if the politician didn't give them money, they will still do what they do every day. People are given 1 packet of unga. These Kisis, they don't, I'm talking more about Kisii because I see a lot on the ground when I go home. those people don't even like hii unga ya kusiagwa hii, this one that is manufactured like soko ugali or whatever. Not promoting brand, but they don't like this milled packeted unga. They like their ugali, the one that comes from mahindi, taken to a kasiagwa with all the fibers. It tastes better for them. But they have to line up and take this unga that doesn't taste well, that is nearing expiry, while they have a gunia or 5 gunias of mahindi at home. You see teachers, educated, went to university, they have a salary, lining up for money. I mean, this thing has no levels. You can't even say it's the poor that line up, the rich stay at home.
Yeah.
No. If a politician shows up here and starts giving money, okay, we might not take. But if he shows up in my village, retirees who have pension will show up. Those who don't have jobs will show up. School-going kids who are not in school today or who have just come from school, they will show up. Market women will show up. People with shops and with income will show up. Somebody will come, pack their pro box to come and receive the unga. So if you have a pro box, do you have an unga problem?
No.
Okay. The other trick they play nowadays is they get a motorbike and they get on top of the motorbike 4 of them. And then they know Mheshimiwa's itinerary. Okay? They know that Mheshimiwa will come from, for example, he'll come from Nyansiongo. From Nyansiongo, he will go to Chebungombe. From Chebungombe, he will come to Mecheo. From Mecheo, he will go to Metamaywa. They know the route. From Metamaywa, he will go to Liamanoti. They know the 5 stops. So they take a motorbike. 4 of them, they get on top of a motorbike. They receive from Mheshimiwa in Nyansiongo. Then they quickly rush to Chebungombe to wait for Mheshimiwa to arrive again and give them. Then they rush. So even Mheshimiwa thinks he's working or his money is working.
It's the same people.
That's why people are losing elections while having money. So these people, once they've cultivated that culture, if you have a motorbike, the cost of a motorbike is usually maybe 100, 150,000 to even 170,000 nowadays. If you have an asset in the form of a motorbike worth 170,000, why do you need to lose your dignity to fight and brawl and be scratched for 100 bob or for 200 bob? It's a mentality problem. And the problem it has to us as Gen Zs, I'm looping it back to Gen Zs because, again, I'm talking to a generation. The reason it's a problem for us is because these criminals are spending so much money and we don't have that kind of money to spend like them. So competing with them on the basis of money first is a zero. The moment a Gen Z is on the ballot running for a position and there's somebody dishing out money in namna hiyo, then money then can't be the competition anymore. We need to create an environment where money is useless. We need to create an environment where spending money is unattractive. It is the kind of thing you would do and lose the election. But you see, it's working. People are spending money and winning.
Yeah.
So they say, if it's working, why change it?
Don't fix it. Yeah.
Don't fix what's working. So that's where now the issue of campaign financing comes in, that we need a change of perspective in terms of how we finance our campaigns and also how we consume campaign financing. We shouldn't be too happy to receive people's money without knowing the source. We shouldn't be too happy.
So the rationale of take the money, don't vote for them.
At some point, they'll vote for someone.
And even that person would have spent money.
Will have spent money
So
too.
the cycle continues. The idea has to be, don't take the money.
The idea
Because everyone is spending money. So if you take my money and you don't vote for me, but they take your money and they vote for you, you see, the assumption is you will go thinking money still works.
Politicians are not dumb. And at the end of the day, we are Africans. As Africans, we have some shame when we take somebody's money and don't do what we agreed with them. That's why if you give a chick money, there's an expectation that she's supposed to deliver something, which if she doesn't, you are offended. Why are you offended? If you are giving the money as a gift. You are giving the money as payment for services rendered.
You're expecting something in return.
Or services that will be rendered in the future. So even when a certain family takes dowry from you, they are ashamed not to give you their daughter because they've already taken your money. They've already, inaitwa kukula ng'ombe, they've already taken your cows. How can they not do? So as Africans, we do have that shame. The shame we don't have is the shame of not taking the money. On that, we are shameless.
Yeah.
But on not doing what the money was supposed to do, on that we have some shame.
Yeah.
Because that's not the African culture. And some of the things are cultural. It looks bad to take somebody's money and not deliver to them. You look dishonest. You look like
it's like
a
you've
liar.
robbed them. Even though you're the one being robbed.
Karoba.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things.
So people feel obligated to vote for somebody who's given them money. Or if they like you and they really want to vote for you, that's cake. But they just need icing on the cake. Which is some money. We tumekupenda kabisa. Sisi tununulie lunch tuende.
But you still have to pay something. It comes at a price. So whether they like you or not, you still have to pay. Somehow.
I'm not running for any position. But I get hustled for money by wananchi every day. It's tiring. I drive past a particular place and unfortunately my window is down. I say, mwesh wezi tupita hivo. Mwesh wezi tupita hivo. They rush quickly. They've already mobilized like 20 motorbikes. They block the road. Then I now have to smile and say, mnaendeleaje? Mko poa?
You become a politician again.
Then I start talking to them. Wanaona kama hii story inakuwa mingi. I start telling them, unajua sasa, sisi tunataka Kenya yetu ibadilike. Now one of the things imeharibu Kenya yetu ni mambo ya pesa. They are not happy. They think you are stingy. You have money, you are refusing to give them. And if you are stingy with your money, they'll be stingy with their vote. And the same is even happening in relationships. Right now, if you meet a spouse or a girlfriend, they have certain expectations of things you must do, which are either money in cash or have to be bought with money.
In kind.
Okay. So those expectations that we've put on our leaders, that they have to give us money, is the reason they justify stealing. They say, okay, I spent 50 million to become an MP. So I need to steal the 50 million back. Once I steal the 50 million back, I'm going to run for MP for a second term. That time, you voted for me because you like me. Now, I've messed up your CDF, I've done this. You're very lowly likely to vote for me on the basis of love. So now, I have to purchase the love.
Yes.
So I won't spend 50 million. I might have to spend 100. So I have to steal the 100 that I will spend next. So we are at 150. Okay? Then now, while I'm stealing this money, I'm using companies, I'm using tenders, I'm using this. At some point, the EACC will come and say, okay, so now tell us, how have you acquired this money? You are the director of this company? Yes. So when they come, how do I shut their mouth so that they don't tell? They will need money. So still 300 million that you will give to EACC. If EACC hears that I gave money, if this year here gets wind that I gave people from EACC some money, they'll also show up. You keep some for DCI in case they come. Now, this power, I can't be so sure. I could lose next election even after spending the 100 million. Will I still go back to people and be ashamed and continue living the life I used to live? And they say, huyu alikuanga mbunge. I need to live far away from my people. So probably I need a home in Karen. A home in Karen is going to cost me 100 million. They still 100 million.
Get a home in Karen.
I need a home in Mombasa where I go and settle. They still 100 million for a home in Nyali or a home in Diani. Oh, so now my children, this one, what do I leave for them? Because you see, these youngsters are not getting jobs. And my son, who is the son of an MP, cannot go to line up like these ones with a CV to get a job. So I'll need some money, nini. So they have reasons. If you sit with them, the reasons are good. They're just evil. But they are sensible. The reasons for stealing the money are very sensible. If you were with them, honestly, you would understand them. Because they have how many funerals this week? 20 funerals. Yeah, you can have 20 funerals. Borabu constituency alone has 4 wards. Esise ward, Nyansiongo ward, Mokomoni ward, and there's a 4th one I'm forgetting. All those wards have no less than 30,000 voters. Those wards, I'm telling you, the number of villages in each ward is a lot. So it means in every village, or in every 2 villages, there's a funeral. In every 2 villages, there's a funeral. Even if somebody died in UK, the funeral is here. Even if somebody died in Mombasa, the funeral is here.
Back home.
It's back home. Even if they died in Nigeria, the funeral is here. Even if their last wish was that their ashes, they be cremated and their ashes, somewhere in California. They'll still do a mock funeral.
Yeah, back home.
Here.
Yeah.
So, there are funerals. In fact, the best economic activity, ukitaka kutengeneza pesa kwa village, kwetu, go into a business aligned with something that helps funerals.
Do you sell coffins in Morara furniture?
No, we don't.
just
but I do believe we can make really good coffins.
Okay.
I just haven't done it. Okay. So if you are in coffin business, if you are in mortuary business, if you are in house business, if you are in tent business, or chairs business, or sound system hiring business.
So or a pastor, because they need a pastor for the funeral.
Kwani, hata mimi, sisi, let me just talk about us as a family. Kwani tumefanyia nini wazazi wenye tumeacha nyumbani? So they don't disturb us with money. You buy them tents and chairs to be renting out to people at funerals. And a sound system to be renting out to people at funerals. And a generator to be renting out to somebody who is running a funeral. That's the business. So it's a very big business. Photography and all these things. So once you understand that, this is how villages function, this is how villagers think, this is how low the expectations of villagers is from their leaders, that if you are a governor, you distribute umbrellas for market women, and that is development. Kama ile ya Kawera Okolea, you give shovels, you give jembes, and your electorate will be very happy with you. That is where the problem is. So anybody who wants to solve the Kenyan problem at the ballot, because I don't see any other way. We are not homogeneous enough for us to have, how should I call it?
To oust the guys in power forcibly.
Hiyo ni ngumu. Because we have a tribal problem. Okay, if today a military general were to overthrow William Ruto, but the general happens to be a Kikuyu, you think people will sit and accept it? They say, aye? Kwani mnatunyang'anya nguvu? Sisi tulingoja miaka 10 ya Kibaki na tukangoja miaka 10 ya uhuru wa Kikuyu, miaka 20. Ndio Mkale akaingia. Na ameingia tu miaka 4. Mwacheni amalize. Alafu mtaipata.
What if it's a Maasai, or if I could speak to my uncle who is Korean?
They'll say, tribe ndogo inatuongozaje. Mko na watu wangapi? Unasikia vile Gachagua ongea, watu wenu wanajaa hii kikombe. Can your people fill this cup? You don't pay enough taxes for you to rule us. I'm telling you the truth. Wanasemanga kura yenu ijai kikapu. So nyi mutulie, nyi mutaongozwa. That is what will happen. Because we have a tribalism problem.
Yeah.
So the only way then we can solve it ni pale kwa debe. And you have to solve it kwa debe, lazima ulete watu wamejielewa kwa debe. Si watu hawajui.
Yeah.
Si watu hawako informed. Si watu wenye, unajua raundi hii, sisi kama Wapukusu, tumeamua, kunaenda tu hivi. Ama sisi kama Wamarakoli. Iruke juu irudi chini. Wamarakoli wote. Tumeamua raini ni moja. Unaona?
Yeah.
You see, once people make those kind of decisions, they're likely to make the wrong decision. And that's not the only problem. Tribalism ni ya hapa juu. Sasa kuna clanism. Ukienda kwa Wamasai, wako na shida ya ng'ombe ya black na ng'ombe ya red. The Maasais have that problem. That there are Maasais who keep cows that are red. And that there are Maasais that keep... Yeah, Maasais from Narok. That's the red cow.
So what's the difference between the black and red cows?
It's clanism. There's a Purko de Kwavi and also the Clan ranches. So you will find that in Kajiado alone, the consideration for who should be a governor for Kajiado is whether it comes from Kajiado South, ama kama anatoka Kajiado ya chini, ama Kajiado ya juu. So Kajiado ya chini is Mashuru, Oloitoktok, Ilasit, all the way to Amboseli, Kimana, nini, Kajiado ya chini. Kajiado ya juu sasa ni hapa Ngong, Susu.
Ya juu is very densely.
Susu umeshafika
This is more densely populated.
It's densely populated with people from a different tribe. Now that's why you need again a coalition with a Kikuyu or to run on DCP. So you've realized in this whole story, we are not talking about who can deliver.
We're just talking about issues that are genuinely non-issues.
Kabisa. You go to our home, Nyamira. It is whether you are Romo Nyamatuta, like me, I come from the Aba Nyamatuta clan.
So you guys are the popular ones?
We are the majority.
You're the majority, okay. That's why your family is a political family.
Either you come from Aba Nyamatuta clan, or you are Romo Samaro, or you are Romo Getutu, or you are Romo Girango Muisanga.
How many clans are there?
If you go to Nyariba Arimasaba,
yeah.
You see Daniel Manduku, the MP, came from Kenya Ports Authority with allegations of corruption and was being sought by EACC. Why he won there is not because he had a corruption case over there. That is not one of the things that his voters were looking at. They didn't want to know about his history. They have a problem. They have the Kambanane clan, they have Abatondo, and some other clans. So it's all about clanism. So even the governorship of Kisii County, it's a coalition of clans. If you are Romo Nyalibali, you look for a running mate Yomo Getutu, so that you do a coalition, so that Aba Nyalibali and Aba Getutu, they do that coalition. Ingie kura yenye natosha. You look maybe for a senator candidate who is Omo Nchali to top up so that you are home and dry. In the end, we put very poor leaders in power because the clan matrix worked. Because we sat down as a clan and decided to align according to clans. When these people get to power, do they work for clans? Do they even help the clan? They don't. If they were helping the clan, it would make sense. It would say, because Omo Nyamatuta is the governor, I, Morara Kebaso, have benefited. So I will be voting for Omo Nyamatuta again. But that's not the case. It is the governor buying properties, Kitengela, where, building flats, what? With no clan in mind. In fact, hata afikiri hiyo mambo. Hiyo mambo ni mambo aliongea tu wakati ya siasa kuingiza box. Mshaingia box mimba. Alafu anakuwa deadbeat. Ashatutunga. Sasa he's done with us. So those are the things we need to fix for us to come to a place where we can even have accountability.
Yeah.
Because I can travel the whole country. I can cover development project after development project. You know, I come from Kipkaren water treatment plant in Eldoret, 1.2 billion shillings stolen. I go to Kisumu Kabonyo Kanyagwal fisheries project, 2 billion stolen. I go to Kisumu Conference and Convention Center, 700 million lost. I was in Wajir. There's a Wajir High Court, 300 million lost. There is a ideas program for having a slaughter so that you can dry camel meat to be nyiri for export, 69 million shillings lost. I can go to Ruringu Stadium. This match has been lost. Karatu Stadium in Kiambu. This match has been lost. I go to Nakuru. I go to Mahimahu Level 4 Hospital. We've lost money. I go to Narok Referral Hospital. We've lost 500 million. I can go the whole country. But who am I talking to?
Yeah.
And are they understanding that language? Or do they feel I've been sent by the other clan? If it's Abanyamatuta, they feel I've been sent by Abasamaro to come and defame their good leader, who is Aunomo Nyamatuta. You know, there's a MP in Western, in Bungoma, who held the mic and said, kuna kijana ametumwa kutoka Nairobi akuje kutuchokora hapa. Just recently, when I was in Bungoma for the Vampire Diaries, and this was all about the Misiku Naitiri Road. So if the people there who use that road, who are disappointed with that road, don't have a problem with the people who ate the road, with the evidence. Sasa wewe ni nani na umetoka wapi?
Yeah.
Ndio ukuje kuwa na shida now. Hawataki mgeni. And people can be lied to with very cheap things. Watu wanaambiwa ati lami isijengwe hapa. Gari zitakimbia mbio sana, zitaua watu. And then they are like, wow. Hatujai fikiria hivyo.
That is the same excuse they used to put fucked up speed bumps everywhere. The cars will overspeed.
So you see, as long as hao watu wanafikiria hivyo, maze pale kwa debe itakuwa ni tabu. Unless sisi wenye tuko informed, to register tukiwa wengi kushinda wao, and then we vote for somebody sensible.
Yes.
If that is possible, then let it work.
I think that's
to register tukiwa wengi, because we are young, we are exposed, we feel the pain of unemployment. You know, sometimes villagers don't even have a problem with the government. Because I went to a village in Siaya. I had gone to audit the Gotnanga Baruber Road. When I got to Gotnanga Baruber Road, I found that it is a market day. And because it's a market day and I had a sound system, I decided to attack the market and address it by force. So I decided to address the market. But the response I got, I was sad. Because you see, that time Raila had gone into broad-based. So the way they reacted to it, because these people, in a whole constituency, they have only one tarmac road. Moja tu.
That goes to the MP's home.
Inaitwa Gotnanga Baruber, yenye inaenda kwa Orengo. Hata inaishia tu kwa gate yake. Just one.
How convenient.
Just one.
Very convenient.
Sasa, na hiyo barabara imestall. So I was trying to tell these people the effects of bad governance, how bad governance is bringing them problems, and so on and so forth. They told me kama Raila hajawaambia hiyo iwahusu.
Wow.
We bwana, kama Raila haja hapa mahali umefika. Kama Raila hajatumana. Meaning they are so loyal to an individual, and they better be lucky the individual akue ni mtu mzuri, because if the individual is a greedy person, then they'll never get anything. Because they've already donated their decision making, they've donated their ears, their eyes to that one person. So we can register in numbers and outvote them, but we have to be very well informed ourselves, listen to conversations like this one, pick up what you can pick up, learn from it, and once you learn from it, don't stay with it. Because you might be sick on election day. But if you educated 10 more people, they're going to represent you well. Or you could be in jail. You might see the votes being stolen. Then the police, because they have instructions from above, they take advantage and arrest you and put you inside until 6 o'clock. When the voting has already been closed.
Concluded, yeah.
So you won't vote. But how beautiful will it be if you had done civic education and you are counting on 10 of your guys
to show up and make the right decision.
very solid,
Yeah.
and they tell you, bro, sijali,
We got you.
we showed up and we did it. You feel good. But now, if you consume this information and stay with it, you know things are wrong. You know this is wrong. Or you even work in a government office, you can see them going wrong, but you don't even have the confidence of registering a pseudo account and whistleblowing, inboxing Chaxy and saying, usijali, mimi usinitaje, mimi nakutumia document zote.
Here's all the proof you need, yeah.
Here's all the proof you need. These are the letters that were written. These are the bank slips. This is how much was transferred. This is who did what. Weshika. Ngara, now you have a platform. Show the people what is happening. But kama mtu hawezi gain your confidence. In fact, you are hoping to occupy the office someday so that you also steal this money. Ile vitu watu wanasema, hii pesa mnatoa wapi?
Naona magari kubwa kubwa kwa barabara.
Hii pesa mnatoa wapi? Tuambieni tu ukweli. Ati podcast uko na Prado. Watu si wajinga bwana. Watu si wajinga. Furniture. Carpenter. Kwani tunajua makapenta wangapi bwana?
Mafundi ni wengi.
Fundi ni wengi. Ati fundi amefaa tu fundi amenunua V8. Amenunua L300. Hayo acha kutudanganya bwana.
Afadhali useme ni God. Sikizo ukisema ni God waulizi maswali sana.
Unajua ni God imekuwa na meaning nyingine. So ni God, they could assume the wrong thing. Because if a lady says ni God,
we know what they mean.
We know what they mean.
Yeah.
And if a guy says ni God,
we know what he means.
So you have to be careful what you say. So I mean, it has even become difficult to inspire the generation because people like us who are out there fighting and occupying a particular space of success is so difficult because the young people are going through so much in terms of economy. Mtu ameapply jobs kama 300, fuzu.com, Brighter Monday, ameapply. Hey,
Brighter Monday for job opportunities is a crazy name. Brighter Mondays.
Ameitwa my interview. Kila mtu anamuuliza tu, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see? Hadi amefika mahali, attitude imechange. The very confident young person that would walk into an interview and say, this is what I can do, these are my qualifications, has gone through more than 50 interviews and now he's tired. In fact, when he just comes to the interview, he's already annoyed. He's just waiting for the interviewer to ask just one stupid question. Niuliza tu moja mbaya. Ukinitrigger hapa sahi.
Yeah.
So, because because of what young people have been going through, it is so difficult to tell them that, look, guys, this is what I do. This is how I do it. I make money. That's why I'm able to afford this kind of life. They'll say you're either into wash or online fraud or Forex or the alternative of Forex. Or if it's a lady, they'll say ni OnlyFans, unauza nudes, or strip chat. Like there is no more faith that a young person can be rich or can have money if your parents were not rich. So for me, the excuse they usually make for me is they say, I usually see it in the comments. They say, huyu babake, grandfather alikuwa senator. He was a senator in 1963. My own parents were not born. That's my great-grandfather.
Yeah.
My grandfather died when my parents are young. My own mother, akiangalia George Morara kwa nini? Kwa picha.
Yeah.
She was so young when George Morara died. Okay? So, these are not kids of privilege. We didn't inherit 10,000 acres of land. Then somehow subdivision was done. Then I miraculously found myself with some 100 acres and sold 3 million shillings per acre and got 300 million. And voila, came into the city and thought, which business will I do? Let me do furniture. Then I started, no. But now it's so difficult to tell that story. It's become that difficult to tell that story because people are also tired of motivational speakers. I started a chicken farm with 1 egg. Because there are also motivational speakers who say things that are so ridiculous that if you come after them, you will be as ridiculous as them, even though wewe una makosa. You are just suffering the mistakes of another person. Because, okay, motivational speakers say we must wake up at 5 o'clock. I hate waking up at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Even in high school, when I used to be waking at 5 o'clock, I used to be terribly offended. I found all ways to avoid waking up at 5 o'clock. I used to hide in the dormitory. There were so many things I did to avoid that 5 o'clock. And when I became another, I said, I won't do it. And I'm not poor because of not waking up at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
There are many people who wake up at 4. But probably, they've not, hawajafika labda that, hawajafikia mahali labda mimi nimefika. So, even motivational speakers based on what they tell people, so people have also lost faith.
We have motivation fatigue. We're tired.
Yeah. You know, motivation imeisha. So now that is over, people are now just waiting. Some are waiting to die. Haki ya Mungu. I'm telling you, there is somebody who's watching this podcast right now who is just waiting to die.
You know, it's sad, but it's true. Yeah.
They are just waiting to die. And they are wondering why it's not coming. Because you see, when you want to die, you don't die.
Yeah. And they don't have the guts to do it themselves, to pull the plug.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Their people are so depressed. And that's why even relationships are not working. Because people are coming into relationships with depression. Mtu amekuja akona issues, amejam.
Amejam ngori.
Hujamkosea. You are an innocent kid.
Babe, weka mawe. Hey.
Like, amekuja tu kwa relationship. Amejam. Sasa, you are blaming yourself, but believe you me, there's absolutely nothing you would have done to be a better person for them. Things were already so bad for them. So I get it. I feel it. I feel pain that the people are supposed to do something about it are eating money from it. For example, KYOP, Kenya Youth Employment Opportunities Program by the World Bank. Do you know how much it lost the last financial year?
I didn't even know that such a thing exists.
It
What
lost
do they do?
6 billion. 6B. You know, pesa imeibiwa Kenya Youth Employment Opportunities Program.
This is run by the World Bank?
Sasa the World Bank can't come and implement a project without going through government.
True.
We are a sovereign state. So a foreign entity like the World Bank just has no option, whether government is corrupt or not corrupt, must work with the government if it has a project or a program it wants to do. And it's working with a corrupt government. And I tend to think that there are also corrupt people at the World Bank who have also figured a way of eating from this project. So they just figure a deal with the government.
So they just funnel funds. Because I'm like, if you're the World Bank and a lot of money is being embezzled. Because this is, if you look at how much money for infrastructure from the World Bank has been embezzled, especially for roads and highways, then why do you still keep giving money to
Why does the IMF still give us money? They know we are wasting the money.
But they still give us more money.
Wanatupatianga tu pesa. Ni nini? What did we do to deserve this kindness?
Imagine if a business started making losses tomorrow, but you still keep lights on for the next 5 years. And you are making losses. KQ. Think even about KQ. I'm like, you're always making losses. But somehow, we just have to keep pumping money.
No.
Because someone is taking part of that.
People are making money from the aeroplanes. KQ doesn't own the aeroplanes.
Yep.
They are leasing the aeroplanes.
Guess who owns?
Ai. Si tunajua. Si hata unajua. Kuna haja tukue sued.
Yeah.
Kuna haja tukue sued. You know, Oscar Sudi sued me. And I had to begin talking to Oscar Sudi and I had no plan of talking to him.
Wait, he sued you for defamation?
Hey.
Okay, so you had to call him?
Nikamwambia sasa mzee mambo gani haya?
What did Sudi say?
Well,
he looks like he not, can be arrogant.
Sudi is not as bad as people think he is.
We don't want to hear that.
He's not as bad.
I told you we are motivation fatigue.
No, he's not.
Tell me what I want to hear.
He's not as bad as people think he is. Yeah. Actually, if you reason with him, he can reason. Yeah, nilimwambia tu mazee hii kitu hapana. Wewe fanya hivyo, wewe toa tu hii kitu. Just withdraw it. Yeah, nimwambia mimi ni kijana myang bado najingangania nilikuwa.
Mwambia my grandfather that died in 1970.
Juu cheki. Honestly speaking,
Yeah.
I had no bandwidth ya kwanza kupigana na Sudi kotini. Yes, naweza pigana naye ni mshinde. But unajua there are battles that you don't really win them. Mnapigana paka by the end of the battle, both of you have lost so much. Even if the court awards me, say, 10 million for being defamed for Sudi suing me wrongfully, and I'm awarded 10M.
How much have you spent in legal fees by even then?
Yeah, and time and stress, and also how will I auction him? Because now he is a politician, anapiga dizi deals za gava, so most likely he doesn't even own things in his name. Sasa ni nini nitaenda kumnyang'anya na ndaichukuaje? Okay, is it his Kapseret home?
Yeah.
And if I take it, how do I hope to live in it? Or to whom do I hope to sell it to? Who would be willing to buy
Sudi's home, bro?
So no, the battle is worthless. So mimi, he's not the kind of person I would have wanted to talk to on such a matter. But sasa niliadvisiwa na wazee nikaambiwa, sasa Sudi, fanya hivi. Hii ni siasa, inaendanga hivi sometimes na inaenda hivi sometimes. Pigia simu, ongea naye. Kampigia simu nikamwambia, kuna hii kesi. Akaniambia, unaona namna gani? Nikamwambia, sasa mimi nimefikiria hii kitu. Mimi naona let's avoid the battle. Let's avoid the battle. Wewe angalia hii, ni mimi kijana. Nitagrow siku ingine. Hata mimi nitakosewa tu. Na mimi nitasamehe huyo kijana amenikosea. Do I think I agree with my apology? Honestly, Sudi, I don't. Najulisha withdraw case. I withdraw my apology. I'm not sorry. But anyway, ni banta. Lakini, nikamwambia tu ondoa hii kitu, hii mambo ishe. Hakuna haja ya kuanza kupigana kuhusu vitu kama hii.
Yeah.
Kwa sababu, nimekuja kuelewa siasa njia tofauti. Unajua, unaweza blame Sudi na mwenye alimpigia na mwenye atampigia tena. Sasa ni Sudi ako na makosa ama yeye amepata ng'ombe ya kunyonya? Okay, surely. Si amepatana na ng'ombe ndio yeye anakamua. Asipoikamua, kuna mtu ataikamua. So inamaanisha kama uko na shida, enda uanze na voter. A change mindset. Kwa sababu huyu voter kama angepigia Sudi, labda you'll be having an even another cantankerous person in that position. Because they have shown capability on and on again to vote for people who are dumb. Extremely dumb. Ni kama tu Kiambu hii. Waititu is just from jail right now.
Do you think he's actually
asimame tu governor tu tena na ikuwe ati ako allowed kuvae?
Yeah.
Si wanampigia tu tena.
Do you think he's actually in jail? Let me just show up.
Okay, I've been
duties.
I've been to jail before. When I was in campus, ile time ya kufunga barabara ya Thika Superhighway. So tuliwekwa hapo jela.
Cell or like an actual prison?
Jail, prison. Nimekaa prison 47 days.
Which one?
Manze, the days are long.
Which one? Which prison?
Kiambu prison.
Damn.
Nilikaa cell ya police 10 days. Kiambu prison tulikaa 37 days. But those days are long. Unajua prison hata ujui time.
Yeah.
Because even the meals are so okay, they are regular, but they happen at very odd hours. Paka wewe mwenyewe huwezi. Mnakunywa uji ya breakfast 6. At least that makes sense. Lunch 10. Supper 2. 2:30 mumefungiwa.
2 p.m. Wait, 2 p.m.
2:30 mumefungiwa.
You have to wait till 6 a.m.
That's from good night. Niambie utafanya nini from 2:30
mpaka 6 a.m.
mpaka 6 a.m. Si ati uko na kitanda comfy ya mattress ya spring. Si ati uko na Netflix. Unalala kwa floor is very cold. Sasa ni stories za jaba tu.
Pia you're not informed, hamna story mpya.
Kuna msee alisema story mpaka mimi nikajua hiyo ni ya uongo. Ati alikimbiza baiskeli mpaka ikipandisha juu ya mti. Really? How can a mountain or whichever bike, hata kama ni Black Mamba, climb a tree?
Kwani mlikuwa na bike yao kwa ndani?
Otherwise, another one said a story. Huyu hata namkumbuka, hata ndammention. Anaitwa Anthony Mukule. Namkumbuka na majina mbili juu nilikuwa wakili wa watu wengi hapo ndani ya jela kuwapea watu legal advice. Mukule anatuambia ati sijui babake ati alishoot arrow akaona imemiss akaikimbiza akaishi. Hapo ulitudanganya Mukule.
No way, and the adults mko mna believe hizo vitu. Ama
but entertainment.
By the way, kwa best yao mse mbaya sana.
Boss, usiposikiza hizo story utakuwa depressed. And I know why people come out of prison and become pastors. Unaona kama Maina Ng'ang'a?
Kanyari. Mama ya Kanyari.
All these people, the only book you are allowed to read when you are a remandee is the Bible or the Quran. So, Bible na Quran ndo kitu pekee unaweza soma. You can only read other books if you've been convicted. Ukiwa convicted unaenda ile section ya convictees. Now unavaa zebra hiyo. So now you can access the library, unaweza soma vitu kadhaa. But huku kwingine ni Bible zile zinadonatiwa na missionaries na wale watu kuja kuvisit jela. Sasa hiyo Bible, you can read it cover to cover. Not because you are a Christian or because hii ni kitu unataka, but what else would you be doing? Hiyo tu ndo unaweza fanya. So hiyo Bible nilisoma
in those 37 days.
Nimesoma hiyo Bible. Hata
Habakkuk 4:7 inasema nini?
Sasa hiyo siwezi jua.
Yeah.
But what I know.
Yeah.
What I know, for example, I know Numbers 11. God killed people with meat.
With meat.
He gave them too much meat and they died. But now, the rabble that came with them from Egypt began complaining. So
was the meat poison? Because I'm just wondering. I've just never had anyone ate too much. I mean, how can Shiba?
Tusikize story. Yeah. Now the rabble that came with them from Egypt started complaining, saying, "We were better off in Egypt. We miss the meat and the onions and the garlic. Nowadays we only eat the manna." The manna was like coriander seed that they put with olive oil. And God heard them, and his anger burned against them. And to this day, that place is called Taberah, for there the Lord's anger burned amongst them. And God summoned Moses to the tent of meeting. And he told them, and Moses then came. Then Moses said, why do I have to deal with the problems, Awad? Did you bring them from Egypt that they may die here? Did I give birth to them that they may tell me, give us meat for us to eat? And God said, now that they've asked you for meat, I will give them meat. They will eat it not for 1 day or 2 days or 3 days, but they'll eat it for 40 days until it comes out of their nostrils.
Story for another day, but the God of the Bible was a very angry person. Very angry.
Our lecturer, the person who taught me international law, was called Thomas Milledge. Thomas Milledge used to tell us, we serve a God of genocide.
I swear.
He was enabling this community, and he was proud of his power, and enabled Hawa to kill 10,000 Philistines. Okay, these 10,000 Philistines that he's killing, whose are they? Bado ni wake tu.
Yeah.
God, understanding God is a whole subject for those who are Christians.
Yes. For the believer.
Me, I don't impose my religion on everyone because me, I'm a believer, but other people are in different religions. But understanding God, hiyo ni safari. You have to question everything, relearn everything you know, until you get to a point you don't understand him at all.
You still have to believe.
Because you start wondering, okay, God is the owner of all riches, yes. Why are believers poor? So until you understand the actual nature of God. So for me, who now believes in God at this point, ujue, I've gone through that whole process of questioning him, thinking through things, until I got to a point and decided now on my own, yes, actually now God exists. I'm going to serve God. But sasa for somebody who has not gone that journey, ukimchallenge na some questions, anaweza shindo kukueleza this God he believes in, what type of God is he? Or what is it about him? So, religion is difficult. Religion, unajua sasa pia religion inatumika pia kutoa watu pesa kwa mfuko. Sasa hata mimi nimeanza kuogopa kanisa. I cannot tell you for sure.
A lot of fundraisers.
I'm not, naitwangwa, lakini I can't tell you for sure that naendanga kanisa fulani specific. Yes, I go to Sitam Karen, but every other time I find myself in SDA. Sasa kama jana nilikuwa Eden Springs SDA Church in Utawala. Ni jana ama ni juzi, Saturday. So from time to time I go to different churches. I'm trying to listen to the doctrine, what they teach. What I'm very careful about is I don't want to go to a church which is an individual business.
But aren't most of them individual businesses? Most of them. You can trace to the owners.
They are. Baba na mama.
I fucking hate that.
You know those people are voters. But you know those people are voters.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yani mtu anakwambia tu, when I was creating the earth, I was with God. And I took the planets and God was telling me
to put them in the orbits.
Ati umesave Mungu kwa WhatsApp.
It is sending a WhatsApp message right now.
To God. Ati, God, what should I tell them? Ati alafu Mungu anajibu. Unajua sasa, when I imagine, unaonanga hiyo crowd vile inakuanga imejaa. Unajua kuna politician amaijaza crowd kaa hiyo. Inakuanga imejaa kutoka hapa paka huko. The end of sight. Imejaa. Nikiimagine hao wasee ni voters.
Then you know how fucked up we are.
Then I know they are capable. They are capable. Okay.
Maybe guys should do what is this test that pilots do? Is it like what is it called? Aptitude test? What is whatever. Maybe voters should do an actual test. Then those who are completely incapable,
you see,
should not decide for the rest of us.
The kind of people deciding the kind of life I'll live.
And the guys who are washing a highway for a prophet.
Sasa, unajua sasa, me, I've worked hard. Umeona vile nimesukuma na KRA mambo ya taxes.
Yeah.
Nimengangana na KRA, nimengangana nao, tumepelekana tax appeals tribunal, tumepelekana wapi, paka mwisho, nimeambiwa lipa hii. Nimeona yenyewe. I'm going to pay some money. I will not talk about it. Okay. But I'm going to, I'm paying. I'm already paying.
Are you happy with how it turned out?
Happy, no. Because I didn't owe.
Oh, damn.
According to hesabu yangu, mazee hata wao ndo wako na do yangu. Lakini sasa
168 million in 3 years, right?
Wao ndo wako na pesa yangu. Based on sasa niki discount tu. Unajua VAT.
How hard,
si pesa mingi wanandai ni VAT.
But how hard is this? I mean, because it's financials, it's not hard to prove how much you owe.
Hapana. That's not what they did. Yeah. It's the big question is here is when did I register for VAT? And when when do they want to register me for VAT?
Okay.
So unaweza kuwa
it's backdating things that
unaweza register for VAT 2023. Ama 2022. Ulipe VAT 2022, 2023, 2024 umelipa. hata 2025 ushalipa kile mwezi umefika. Lakini mtu akuja aseme no, you were supposed to have been paying VAT from 2018. Then achukue revenue yako ya 2023. I predate. Aseme hiyo ndo ilikuwa revenue yako hiyo time. Unajaribu kueleza, hii time niko na branch 3. Hiyo time nilikuwa na operate kutoka kwa kibanda. Surely hata sikuwa na hiyo pesa. Ndio maana hata sikuwa na qualify for VAT. Aseme hapana, because we are presuming backwards. Wanakupresume nyuma. Wakisha kupresume nyuma, wanasema sasa wewe your VAT obligation ilianguka 2018. Sasa wanakupigia kutoka hapo. But anyway, tumepelekana, nimefikishwa mahali, nimesema haya sawa, niandikie nilipe. Kwa sababu unajua tukibishana sana na serikali iko na nguvu, wataniangusha kibiashara. Na wakiniangusha kibiashara, voters wenye wafaa kunisaidia, si unaona hiyo ndio hao wanafuata prophet. So si ati ndakuja kwao ni make sense. Unaona? So nijinganganie nisianguke. Meanwhile tukingoja huyo voter ajielewe. Asijielewe kama nimesota. Juu anaweza jielewa, but by the time anajielewa mimi niliisha. So nikasema it's okay. I'm gonna pay this much. But angalia hiyo do nalipa kama taxes. I feel pain when it's wasted, manze. Kosi ati ni pesa nimeokota mahali. It's money that I'm actually going na kulipa. Hii pesa ninalipa. Na feel. Juu na feel ni kama sasa, yani ni kama sasa nimepea politician pesa ya kupeleka kanisa.
3 million every week.
Yeah. Naona nikaa nimempea kabisa. Ama nimempea pesa ya kununua risasi ya kuua Gen Zs. Naona kama namuempower afanye even more evil. Sasa what option do I have? Lazima mimi nilipe tax kwa sababu I'm in business. Kama sikuwa nataka kulipa, ningewacha. So since I'm in business, I have to separate my political thoughts from my business realities. The business reality iko hivi. So ninalipa. But sasa mtu wako village halipi. 70% voters wenye nikwambia wako kwa village hawalipi. Na ama kama wanalipa hawaamini wanalipa. Because they do pay. Wanaenda kwa petrol station, they buy kerosene, petrol for their motorbike. They buy airtime. Airtime has excise duty.
Even everything, unga,
everything.
Whatever we buy.
They buy unga. They buy sukari from their local shop. Cabras, Mumias, they buy. All these things have VAT. So at the end of the day, they've paid the tax on the price. Like kama kitu ilikuwa inafaa kuwa 150 bob itakuwa 200 ama to 180 juu wanalipa tax. But hawajui hivyo. So whenever I talk to them and tell them, look, kama hao wagotunanga baruberu wenye nilikuwa naonyesha.
Raila amekutuma wewe.
Hajanituma. Let him rest. Allow him to rest. Sasa how nilijaribu kuwaambia mambo ya taxes. Wakaniambia na yenyewe. Okay, they began by agreeing. They didn't outrightly disagree. But now the problem is how they are agreeing. They are agreeing to the wrong thing, not what I'm telling them. They are agreeing pesa ya serikali imeibiwa sana. Mimi najaribu kuambia hapana pesa yenu. Yenu. You are money. Wanasema pesa ya serikali imeibiwa. You can't blame them. Kwa sababu hao watu wana watch TV, wanasikia 7 billion stolen. Surely, hata kama mimi Morara sijaweza kurelate vile 7 billion inaweza kuwa inakaa. Mtu kweli huko anaweza relate kweli. Anaweza jua ati 7 billion kama itajaa hii room ama nini. You know, they can't even imagine. They've never thought of so much money in their life. They've never met so much money in their life. And that is why huwa wanaua mwizi wa kuku, lakini hawezi ua politician. Because the crime a politician has committed is incomprehensible to them. But the crime of a chicken thief is very comprehensive. Unaiba kuku aje wewe? Kuku. Unaibaje kuku wewe? Na ni jogoo. Na tulikuwa tunakaribia Easter. Jogoo ningeuza ningepata 2,000. Unaona? So that's a very, very comprehensible crime to them. So my request to our politicians is, as you steal the big, steal the small, so that watu waelewe kidogo. Msikuwe mnaiba ile kubwa peke yake. Kujanga muibe tu kitu ndogo. Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, come and steal lab equipment from a school. Unaona kitu kama hiyo. Ama donate ng'ombe kwa shule, alafu nguje muibe hiyo ng'ombe tena. They will understand that crime of theft of a cow.
Yeah.
They won't rest until the cow is returned.
Yeah.
So that's why a politician's crime looks like a cool crime. People are like, wow, that's badass. So 7 billion? Man, oh man. My nigga. My nigga. Wewe ni mtu wangu. You see,
Yeah.
it's as if they're proud of you. But if we educate them and open their eyes, watakuanga wanasikia hiyo 7 billion, wanaanza kuielewa in terms of what it can do. Tutakuwa tunawaambia a kilometer of a well-built tarmac road with drainage and road signages in this area with this topography costs 70 million. If you have 10 kilometers, it's 700 million. But if you have 100 kilometers, it is 7 billion. Now, what is 100 kilometers? Then you now start explaining to them. You tell them it is from
Point A to point B.
From Tongaren to Naitiri to Misiku. Hiyo iwe imeisha. Then it is from Chwele Kabuchai to another place. Hiyo iwe imeisha. So they start getting. Wakianza kuget, perfect. Now they understand what money should be doing for them. Lakini now, who is to do that? Because hiyo ni kazi. Ni kazi ambayo ina take effort, time, resources to explain these things to people until they understand. Who is willing to sacrifice their time, their resources to do civic education? We have to be willing, and we have to do it tukiwa wengi. If Morara does it alone, it's too expensive for him. But if everybody does it, unaona sasa kama Vampire Diaries ile style yenye watu walikuwa wameamka tena wakawacha, where people like start shooting videos from where they are. Mtu anaenda what's close to them
And exposing.
The problem is knowledge. So they can go, they can expose that this road has not been done. But sasa wanaweza kosa ile capacity ya ku-access documentation.
The actual financial.
Paka sasa wakuje kujua hii kitu ni ya 325 million and the contractor has already been paid and to an excess of even 400 million. Sasa hapo ndo ka challenge inakuwa sasa. That's why people like us come in to fill that knowledge gap. Ile style tulikuwa tunafanya time ya Gen Z. Unaona TikTok live mazee bill yenye iko bunge inaelezwa in layman's language.
Yeah.
Paka mtu anashika. It did a lot for our country. Before election ya 2027, hebu tujaribuko tufanye tu hiyo kitu kidogo. Tuone how much of a difference it can make at the ballot.
Yeah.
And then pia sio tu educate tu. Na educate na kutokea. Because kama umelala kwa nyumba, unangoja Chaxy ya post, uone kama kuko safe, ndio utoke. Sasa nani atatoka?
Fact.
We are giving government power to terrorize us with violence. Because what they will do then is they will know that area fulani ndio ini support cause violence in polling stations. Mama ya Morara akisikia kuna violence kwa polling station, vijana wanakimbizwa na kuna tear gas,
She's not leaving the house.
hata toka kwa nyumba. So tutawakimbiza hivyo siku mzima na GSU. By 5 o'clock tapata voter turnout iko chini, wenye wale manage kupiga ni kama 60%. Tutakuwa tumeshukisha kura zao. Kwetu peace, kukuwe na peace 100%. Mwenye apigi apigiwe.
Hata apatiwe escort.
Mwenye
Bring them to
apigi
the police station.
apigiwe.
Yeah.
Around 4 o'clock chukueni Kim's kit, ingia kwa system, angalia watu wangapi hawaja confirm kufika. Anza kuwa confirm manually kwamba wamefika na wamepiga. So that in a place, mahali yako na support, and end up na 95% turnout. Unashinda kwani watu huko hata hakuna mgonjwa, hakuna mwenye kuweza kufika kwa sababu ya tatizo la usafiri.
Hakuna mwenye tu alivote. Alimark vibaya, the usual.
The statistics are humanly impossible. No
one was sick that day.
Hata hakuna ati wenye wako tu na fatigue, wamechoka tu na yeye, hawataenda kupigia opponent wake, lakini hata yeye haendi kumpigia. Those kind of people are there. But how come they still voted? It's because somebody voted for them. And that is now where it comes to free, fair elections not happening. If we become charged enough as young people in this country, I can tell you, even the political class can fear stealing votes.
I think that's going to happen.
But if we are not charged enough, wataiba, na wataiba blatantly, watasema sawa, mtadu. Again, it depends. You see, we were charged in 2024.
I think that's going to happen this year as well. In June.
But you see,
commemoration. Ukiongeza na whatever is going on with Kokadi.
Can we have a replay of 2024?
I don't think we'll have a replay of 2024 in the sense that people want a new government by getting rid of the current system. I think now guys have it in the back of their minds that they can do it through the ballot next year.
Since tumedraw battle line yetu ni next year, then between now and next year, what are we doing to ensure we create an environment that makes it hard for a corrupt politician to thrive? Because you see, ukiwacha mtu sana, ata convince mama yako, mkimpea leeway, mkimpea space, ata mconvince kabisa, na hutaweza kumtoa akili hapo. Atakwambia sisi tunaenda na so and so. Ni kumuonea wanamuonea. So it means we have to constantly
speak to them about
and consistently do it.
Yeah.
Every day as if 2027 August is tomorrow. So you do it daily, ni kama August 2024 ni kesho. So that when the day comes, people have been prepared to marinate kitu. Tunangoja tu ikue. That is the hope I have. So I'm still full of hope.
Same here. And also remember the advantages in numbers, because the majority of voters are still young people. And we also have a very high populace that will be voting for the first time. Not even my main worry, but the only thing I'd even say to a lot of the guys voting for the first time is just to prepare them mentally. Historia, the queue was so long, let me go home and then I'll come back vote. That's not going to work. Like, tupangie line, tubaki hapo.
Tukae kwa hiyo line.
Tubaki kwa hiyo line. I mean, listen, it's not the best thing, but guys can find things to do.
Tutafute vile tutajientertain.
Kuna wase wajaba watakosa kwa hizo line. Watapiga tu story. As in, we can entertain ourselves. Yeah. But the idea that, no, ama tuende tushike kamzinga, then we'll come back because the queue is too long. That one is not going to work.
Mkienda huko zishike, mtastukia ni 6. Ama ni 5. Mkirudi mpate line sasa ndio iko mrefu zaidi, na polls inafungwa 6. Mseme hii ni kaa tutaweza hii.
But in terms of turning out, I think, and I hope that I'm proven right, I think there's going to be a lot of people who will turn out to vote. Because also, kumbuka, a lot of the people didn't vote last year. No, not last year, in the last election.
Lakini pia underrate, we should not underrate politicians.
But do you want to tell me, since the last election, you want to tell me that generally speaking, like the president is more popular now than in the last election? Genuinely.
No, he's less popular now.
Exactly. Now, if 7.8 million people didn't vote in the last election, that 9% being young people,
the problem
then what if those turn out to vote? Because the margin was very small in the last election.
The problem is that, one, the legacy politicians that are competing against the president have helped him. I can say the best thing that has happened to William Ruto on his side is this opposition that we have.
The Regadis and the other guys.
Yeah. But the mere fact that they lack an agenda is troubling enough. Then secondly, they returned tribal politics where he thrives for their own interests. Like Gachagua was bringing it back so that DCP can do well in Mount Kenya so that he can get enough MPs for his own negotiations. But now,
I don't think he genuinely wants to be president. I don't think so.
He don't know. He's
because
not
if
interested.
Gachagua wanted to be president, then he'd not be campaigning in Mount Kenya every time. I've never seen Gachagua in Kakamega. He campaigns
He's been to Kakamega though.
Recently.
Kitambo alikuwa na Cleo Malala.
Hiyo time. But now, if you look at the way he moves
but
now,
even if he goes to Kakamega, he'll talk about Mount Kenya in Kakamega.
So, you have a leader,
So he's still campaigning in Mount Kenya.
A leader whose anytime he has a microphone, it's just tribal politics.
No.
So someone tells you I want to be president of Kenya, but he's always talking about Mount Kenya. Do you know how crazy that is? So clearly, all he wants is he knows tribal politics works in Kenya. He wants to be the kingpin of Mount Kenya because he knows now he can lobby.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need to be in government. He'll still make money, have his people in positions.
And you'll have 10 counties.
That's a lot of
Do you know
counties.
how much
Out of
money
47.
that is? Do you know how much money that is? He'll have Nakuru. Nakuru has an annual budget of 20 billion. For 5 years, it will be 100 billion.
So
He'll have Kiambu.
Wanajenga apartments huku Nairobi Loresho.
He will have Kiambu.
Yeah.
Kiambu has an annual budget of 20 billion. For 5 years, that's another 100 billion. He will have Muranga. He will have Kirinyaga. He will have Nyeri. He will have Laikipia. He will have Nyandarua.
Meru.
He will have Meru. Embu. Tharaka-Nithi. Unasikiaje hapo? Hizo ni 10. Sasa za kubahatisha,
Kama
aangukie Mombasa ama aangukie Kajiado.
Eastern kamoja.
Aangukie Kajiado kamoja. Taita Taveta aangukie kamoja, Mombasa kamoja. The guy will have like 15 counties. And that's what used to happen with ODM. Let me tell you, if the values of ODM were fighting for the betterment of Kenyans, as they so eloquently say, why is it that ODM counties are the most corrupt? And why is it that ODM governors were like almost the most corrupt?
Even till now.
Nothing was happening there. Kabisa. Like a governor could steal everything and fake the documents. And the people had no problem. Why? Because Raila amempa ticket. Now, where's it disappoint Baba? So they have to vote for the damn person again. Hiyo kitu imetu imprison sana. Because sometimes we have to agree that our kingpin can be wrong. So, for example, we have a governor in Nyamira called Nyaribo. If Matiang'i, who is now the kingpin of Kisii there, gives Nyaribo the ticket, sisi wote tena tufuate hapo kama mbuzi. Will we have returned a very bad governor to power?
Wait, so in Kisii, Matiang'i is the kingpin now?
He is.
Because of resources? Or the pull from Jubilee?
People have just stayed long. Watu wako dry spell tu hawajai kuwa
Hawajai kuwa na someone like that.
Yeah.
But so saizi ni ile yenye anything inaweza toa kutu. So what about Maraga? Because Maraga is ideally the best candidate.
Yeah.
So what about Maraga back home?
Hakuna. Hata Maraga mwenyewe asimame MCA.
No.
Bila ticket ya chama ya Matiang'i. Hata shinda. Very unfortunate. Because Maraga is a guy I like.
I like Maraga.
I would wish ashinde hapo. Lakini hawezi. Hawezi. Because watu wako loyal kwa kingpin 100%.
And I don't think Matiang'i's values align with Maraga. And Maraga is a guy who...
I mean, which values? Look at what Jubilee did to this country. They found our debt at 1.89 trillion. Shot our debt to 9 trillion.
Yeah.
And 6 trillion is just missing. Out of that money, 6 trillion hakuna. One of it in Eurobond, which was borrowed and stolen abroad. It never even landed here. And that same Jubilee, ndo chama yake, ndo ako nayo kwa debe, ndiye anauza kwa ground. He didn't even want to bring something new or distinguish himself. On election day, when Ruto, people say, Ruto is corrupt. He is. But was he the one stealing 12 billion from our treasury on election day in 2022? Si yeye. Alikuwa busy akiiba kura labda. Lakini si pesa. Other people were in charge of the country and the treasury. On election day, steal from us, but not when we are vulnerable.
When no one is even paying attention to what's happening.
Kila mtu amefocus pale kwa debe, where you have your hand in the cookie jar. They stole 12 billion one day, withdrew it from treasury, said it was for purchase of shares for telecom under a thing called Jamhuri Holdings, that the government wanted to buy a major stake in telecom through Jamhuri Holdings, and the sum of it was going to Africa Export-Import Bank, and the other was going to Africa Development Bank to buy shares in the Africa Development Bank.
That now turned into...
The Auditor General says, alipigia watu wa Africa Development Bank hawapati kwa simu.
To explain.
Hata ameenda. There's no response from them. Isn't that the matter
that into NCBA?
No.
No, NCBA was the NIC.
Those are commercial banks. Now we are talking about the Africa Development Bank and the Africa Export-Import Bank. These are banks that loan money to African corporations and African governments, so you can buy shares there as a country, so that then you'll be earning dividend from countries borrowing from the bank. Sasa unaona? So Aki, anybody who doesn't understand what Jubilee did, mimi sasa sijui vile atasaidika.
Rivayala as well, if you want to add to...
Kionjo kama brothers. I mean, there are so many problems with the Jubilee government. Mimi hata sitakangi kufocus na za Matiang'i. Nazanga na za Uhuru kwanza. The laptop projects, 23.4 billion. Ati kila mtoto atakuwa na laptop. Then they changed it from a laptop. They said sasa kila mtoto atakuwa na iPad. Digital Literacy Program. DLP. Walianza ikiwa Ministry of Education, then wakaishift. After imebiwa 23 billion, wakaileta Ministry of ICT. Money lost. Huduma number, which I don't have in my pocket while live in money search. Sina huduma number. Sina. And 10 billion was spent on the thing. NYS, 20 billion. KEMSA, 200B. Unajua, people don't know how big this thing is. Unaona time hiyo ya Moi, the worst scandals we had was Anglo Leasing and Goldenberg. Combined, there are 67 billion. KEMSA alone is 200 billion.
Wait, how bad was our GDP in the early 90s? Because if 10% of our GDP was lost through Akina Kamlesh, then how bad was our GDP in the early 90s?
It was bad because of the SAPs in 1980s, the structural adjustment programs. You see, when we allowed IMF to run our treasury and economic planning in the 1980s, and they brought this thing called structural adjustment programs, those programs were not for the development of Kenya, they were to protect creditors of the IMF. Walikuwa na protect shareholders wa IMF, sio wa Kenya. So that's what killed industrialization. That's why our GDP shrinked. That's when we became a client state. We started importing everything. And there is a way Kenyans don't understand why the death of industrialization was bad to them. You know, I tried to make this point sometime, and somebody said cheap imports were good for the consumer because now the consumer could buy things at a cheaper price. Okay, let's make an assumption that a t-shirt from Rivertex, from Kenyan cotton, was costing 1,000 bob.
Yeah.
And now you brought Mutumba for 20 bob. So see, the consumer is going to enjoy low prices. But who is this consumer? This consumer is a Kenyan worker. Who works where? In an industry. What is going to happen to this industry? It's going to collapse. When it collapses, what will happen to this person? He'll not have a job. When he doesn't have a job, what will happen? He doesn't have a salary or an income. If he doesn't have an income, will he even afford the 20 bob one?
But it stifles the economy, because if you are instead, then I'd rather we have industries that are running and then we work on the costings than importing all the time, because now what does that do to our shilling?
So it's cheap, but you don't have the money to afford it anymore.
You can't. And then also, your money, as soon as you leave Kenya, you realize your money is bullshit. It's everywhere is too expensive for you.
Badilishia pesa yako kwa airport. Atutoke Kenya na shillings.
Yeah.
Hey, manze, I went to
Ama you go swiping your debit
I was
card.
in Johannesburg recently with Kenya shillings. Nilihangaika hapo kwa airport. It's valueless.
Who wants
you
it?
lose money.
Who wants it? And you lose so much money.
Mimi, whenever I want to travel, mimi hufanya hivi. Me, I just change to USD kabla nitoke.
That's the standard.
Nikienda huko pesa iishe. Si M-Pesa yangu inafanya through wifi. Natumia mtu ama bank. Natumia mtu pesa. Aende Western Union, aniekee tena USD. Tena ni withdraw tena huko. Something of the sort. But we've killed our shilling through,
We import too much, man.
through trade imbalance.
Yeah. Like tea. Like what do you mean we'll export tea and import refined tea? Coffee. Maize. Hii Kenya venye unatambia hivi green it we need to import maize.
Kitu sasa inanibo. Nilisoma kitabu. My teacher told me and I believed him that agriculture is the backbone
of our economy. And education is the key to success.
Sasa agriculture is the backbone to our economy. Yeah. Mimi nilikuanga najua agriculture is inasaidiwa na agricultural processing plants. That if you have agriculture, then you better have agricultural processing plants for value addition and also for processing into finished products. So I expect kama area fulani wana grow tuseme sunflower. I expect your sunflower ndo ikue cooking oil and maybe other essential oils or products. Kama area fulani wana grow groundnuts, I expect your groundnuts ikue ground, itoe maybe oil or some other thing and some other thing. These are my expectations. But nowadays, all these big industries we are seeing in Kenya with smoke up there. You look from the road, unaona smoke. So that industry is working. Kumbe, it's not even buying produce from farmers, maze. It's importing crude. The only thing it's doing is refining. Here is a sugar industry that is not buying sugar cane from the farmer. Imeleta, kuna hii ship imeingia Kenya juzi, Agia Valentina. Imeleta 1 million metric tons of sugar. Hiyo ni sugar ya farmers wangapi? Karibu kaunti 3. They are going to be packing that sugar for like a year. Wakiuza to the consumer market. Look at the companies that are doing cooking oil. Pwani Oil Refineries, Golden Africa, all this. They import crude. They are not buying corn from us or sunflower to make the cooking oil.
Yeah.
They are buying from Mexico, crude. Then coming to refine. Yani, kurefine, for those who are not understanding, namaanisha wanachemsha tu. They just boil it and maybe filter and process and then produce cooking oil. So then it means the Kenyan farmer does not feel the impact of that industry being there.
Yeah.
People, do you know Brookside is importing powder milk? Hey, powder milk. I mean, surely. Wanauzaje maziwa? If you go to the supermarket, half a liter 60 bob. A liter then means is 120. They are buying a liter from the farmer at 40 bob. Meaning half a liter that they are selling at 60, they are buying at 20. And the only thing they do to the milk is pasteurize and pack. Kupasteurize kwa wale hawaelewi ni kuchemsha. Ni vile unachemsha na machine. Ni kuchemsha na machine.
Yeah.
See, that's it.
Yeah.
Kwanza hata kuna vitu mingi sana unatoa kwa hiyo maziwa ifikii the end consumer.
Because they need to make other products.
Yeah, they remove ghee, they remove butter. So again, you're going to make another money again. But why give the farmer 40 bobaki kweli? Then give them even 60 bob. Fairness. These are the kind of laws we expect our MPs to do in parliament. But what do? I mean,
See, they attend funerals over the weekend.
And sometimes they don't come.
And church services.
And when they come to parliament, they're giving nonsensical speeches.
Have you seen how full parliament is when they need to vote for things like increasing their salaries? versus when they need to pass crucial bills.
They don't show up.
Yeah.
And then laziness, intellectual laziness. We copy-paste our laws. I mean, even the clerks, the legal office huko, watu wamekuwa so lazy. And you should know, as a taxpayer, you are paying, every parliamentarian, you are paying for him office staff, which includes a research assistant. For every MP. Ako na research assistant ameandikwa na Parliamentary Service Commission analipwa to do research. Ndio bill ikuwe refined. Banzi. Hao watu wanaenda wanachukua, tuseme ni Data Protection Act. Wanaenda wanachukua ya European Union. Wanakuja tu ni, unaona ile kwa lapi ile find and replace.
Grammarly.
Wanaweka tu find. European Union, EU, Scotland, nini? Find. Replace with Kenya. Ana-edit document mzima ni kubadilisha tu why it's written European Union, weka Kenya, weka Kenya, weka Kenya. So we end up with the laws that don't reflect our culture. They don't reflect our historical reality. They don't reflect our political reality. They are not even in tandem with our economic reality. That's how we've ended with a bloated government with so many institutions, some doing the same thing. You have so many institutions, some are doing the same thing. Uko na Media Council of Kenya, lakini pia uko na Ministry of ICT and Technology, na uko tena na State Department of Information. Huh? Doing the same thing, maze. Same thing. Uko na National Disaster Management Authority, NDMA. Lakini bado uko na Disaster Relief Fund under Office of the Deputy President. Disaster Relief Fund under Office of the President. Disaster Relief Fund under every governor's nini. Sasa ya kazi gani? Ati uko na basari ya MP, kuna basari ya governor, na kuna ati basari ya president. Sasa pia anapea nani? He's not even in touch with the ground. But the president has bursaries. So you have so much duplication of roles. You have a big bloated government with so many institutions of things that can be merged into one and be done by one institution.
I complain about our wage bill all the time.
Sasa, ni nani anafaa kuniuliza mbona nacheza muziki? Ni Music Copyright Society? MCSK?
Ni Prisk?
Ama ni NACAD? Kuna hao? Nema.
Yeah.
So who should? Noise na report. Okay, hii muziki. Okay, ikikuwa noise ndio inakuwa Nema. Ikikuwa muziki niko kwa MCSK.
Amiko kwa serious saa zingine.
Naona? Yeah. We have a lot of duplication of roles. We have too many people that we do not need, that we need to cut off. Mazee itabidi to cut off watu wengine. Waende waka earn money in other ways. You know, government should not be the place where people go to be billionaires or millionaires. Mtu ako na salary ya 70K. But they have apartments worth 50 million, 100 million. Sasa, sieleze basi pia si tuelewe, because probably why should we be struggling out here na kona namna? Aki. He has found the way.
Yeah.
He has discovered a way out of the block. He should help us escape the matrix. A senator now has a helicopter worth 300 million that he bought from Peter Kenneth. Si tumfanyie tu lifestyle audit tu kidogo. Tujue tu hajakuwa akitumia mshahara yake ya shilingi milioni 1 mwaka for 1 year ako na 12 million. Na amekuwa senator miaka 4 ako na 48 million, akaekelea bet ikajipa.
Akamake 500 million.
Kulikuwa na odds za 5. Multiply ilikuwa 5. Ikaingia 200 million. Sasa hata ifiki bado.
Akaekelea tena. Ama kacheza aviator.
Ndio akapata 350M. Si at least watu wao wanaeleza mali yao hivyo.
Yeah.
Ndio ikuwe clear. Tuache kufikiria we are the one doing it the wrong way. Unaona, watu wakuwe motivational speaker watu. You should tell us how they do this, because that senator from Rift Valley, they are part of the people that have messed up the sugar sector. Now they've killed every single government sugar company. Muhoroni, Chemelil, dead. Who has bought them? Kipchimchim Industries. Kipchimchim Industries wenye Kipchimat. Ukiangalia vizuri, if you look closely, unapata mkono ya Senate. Ukiangalia mkono ya Senate, unapata ya rais. Sasa, okay. So why does the president want to fight? Why does he say he will fight corruption? Unajua saa ingine tu, kubali tu. Kubali you are at the center of it. This thing, hata umeamua tu utakula. And you see the same president, they ata appoint head wa EACC. Those same parliamentarians are the ones who draw the budget. And that budget allocates money to the EACC that they will use this year.
To fight corruption.
Yeah. Na EACC wako desperate. Wanasema maze, we have staff to pay, we have vehicles to fuel, vehicles to maintain, tuongezeeni tu kidogo. Wanaambiwa sawa, tuonyeshe files mko nazo. Mutaweka kando hizo files? Tutajaribu. Hapana, si kujaribu. Mutaweka kando? Sam ndo tutaweka kando. Shika pesa. Na ama saa ingine hata wanapewa excess ndio iende tena ikaibiwa huko EACC. Sasa hata sijui who will investigate now. You get it? A messed up system, it collapses to the extent that it can't serve anyone at all. And at that point, a revolution must happen. Mimi, sina hopes sana na Debe.
Okay.
But niko na hopes after Debe. This is my thinking.
Okay.
I know IBC is compromised. I know our politicians, including those in the opposition, are compromised. So I know people go to the ballot, some of them compromised and an election compromised. But I know that there are young people who are yearning for a better country, who the only thing you need to do to disappoint them is to show them that the ballot they thought can work cannot work.
Because now they want.
Now from there, anything is fair game. Because now washagundua Debe haiwork. Tushajaribu.
We gave it time, now it doesn't work.
We've tried it. Yeah. So and then
more
hopeful about what Nepal, the youth will do.
They're looking at Nepal. Have you seen they just elected a former underground rapper?
As
their president.
Yeah,
after overthrowing their
careful now marapa. Mozambique waliweka
Mozambique waliweka
DJ. Waliweka DJ mwingine aliwa mix. Alina Rogelina aliwa mix. So wakue careful, tusikue kama ule demofolia tu ma bad boys peke yake.
Naitwa Linux.
Saa ingine tufike tu point, tukue tu serious. Body count yetu inaweza kuwa iko mbaya. Tumemake mistakes hapo nyuma. Yeah?
Yeah.
But if you know, I had Alicia Kanini has a wedding. You know Alicia Kanini?
I know Alicia.
Nasikia ako na wedding.
Wewe unamjuaje?
Okay, mi uko Telegram. Uko Telegram. Mwani tunakutana jioni.
Unajua April inaanza. Umelipa subscription. Ama ni automatic deduction.
Sasa. Mimi nasikia ako na wedding.
I feel like in propaganda, but entertain me.
Assuming it's true. Manze kama kuna mtu pia amemu-identify, basi pia sisi Kenya, manze a good leader atatu-identify at some point. Juu tumemess sana. Lakini kama yeye anaweza toka soko, hata si tutatoka. Unaona?
Anaweza toka soko lakini anapiga kazi.
So me I'm more hopeful about what the youth will do after elections. Because I know the elections will disappoint them. Hiyo ni guarantee. Mimi nishakuwa psychologically prepared. Kwa wale wenye bado mko na hope, ngojeni mtafika mahali mimi nimefika. Sasa tukishafika hapo tukiwa wote, then now we will have understood that this political system can't work. It can't deliver what we want. Sasa post-election ya 2022, how we behave at that point.
2027.
Yeah, 2027.
Yeah.
How we behave at that point will either make or break the future of this country. So lazima tukue na ma-options standby ya vile tutakuja kufanya hii Kenya yetu. So that hakuna mtu mmoja atatuhold at ransom.
For another, I don't know how many years. Oh.
Let me tell you. If Ruto managed to pull a first one on us in 2027, na tuko zati kavurugu kidogo alafu imeisha alafu amekalia kiti comfortably. Haki atoki. Me, I don't believe he will leave. And if he leaves, he'll leave a proxy. It will be him. Ni kama vile Vladimir Putin aliondoka, akatuwekea Gorbachev. Tukakaa na Gorbachev kidogo, akasema the constitution says you cannot be president for more than 2 terms consecutively, but it does not say you can't come back. Or you can't come back. He became prime minister, akarudi kuwa rais.
Then akakuwa president.
Sahi ako 2 term.
He'll be the prime minister again, PM. PM president.
Nakwambia, look at who Ruto role model is. Ujue what he will do. I mean, some things are not rocket science.
He said, Kanu itaendelea. What did he say? What is the more famous that Kanu will rule for? Forever. Did he say forever or 20 years?
For many years. For 100 years. So anyway.
But if you think about it, Kibaki from Moi. Uhuru from
Moi. Niyo mbogi.
Ruto now wake 92
hata Gachagua hata Kalonzo.
Niyo mbogi. All of them are Moi.
So ukiruka Ruto upigie hiyo Gachagua bado uko kwa hiyo mbogi bado. Ukipigia huo mwingine bado uko tu kwa okay.
But politicians have guts. Mimi, I'm waiting to see when the manifestos are out. I'm waiting to see the new thing that they're saying they'll want to do. How can you tell me someone who's been in power for 40 years suddenly has some new ideas for Kenya?
Nikupe manifesto ya Ruto, for example.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. So last time ilikuwa hustler, Wilbaro, how is he positioning? How is he going to position himself?
Oh, sahi.
Now he's not a hustler anymore.
Oh, sahi anaenda kutumia hustler narrative. Sahi anaenda kutumia distinction. Sisi ambao tuko na mpango na wale ambao hawana mpango. That's number 1.
But how kuja na mpango? Because I don't think they're not going to come up with something.
He'll be communicating what he has done with a lot of exaggeration. He'll be saying, in our housing program.
Okay. Please say it in his voice. Let's go. Because you can mimic him quite well.
In our housing program, we have done 150,000 units of housing. We had a plan to do 300,000. We fell a bit short of that. We are going to do now 400,000 houses.
Tema hiyo kitu.
Aya. Atakuja in our hii program ya mayouth anaita nini?
What is it called? Nyota fund.
Nyota fund.
Yeah.
Katika mpango wetu. Wa Nyota Fund. Sasa tayari tumekwisha pea vijana 65,000 pesa ya kuanzisha biashara mbalimbali. I was having a conversation with a young man here who has started a car wash and is making more than 3,000 shillings every day, courtesy of the Nyota Fund. My government is now planning kuongeza hiyo pesa kidogo. Tulikuwa na mpango ya kuona kwamba hawa vijana wamepewa vijana kama 1,000,000. Mimi nikaambia bwana waziri, sasa tuongeze hao vijana wakue vijana 2,000,000 ambao watafaidika na hiyo mpango ya Nyota Fund. So you'll just be saying this, building on it, and giving an even bigger promise. Umeshika?
Yeah.
Atakuwa hivi alafu. So
it feels like how a comic thinks. Like I'll introduce, get you here and then drop the punchline.
Na msifikiria ati Ruto anaenda kufanya kitu surprising ati nyamjaisikia. Ama atafanya something so different. Hii kitu nasema hapa, that's what he will do. And we will be like, this is the same script. Vota wake, afikiri hiyo. Vota wake ako impressed by mediocrity. So ako tu sawa. Anasema, tunaelekea Singapore. Tunaenda Singapore. That's what his voters will be saying. Umeona voters wa Nyanza wanasema they've never seen so much development in their lifetime. This man has remembered them. Which is partly true. Nobody bothered about them. Si nimekuambia nilikuwa Ugenya constitution nikapata tarmac road moja pekee. So if somebody brings just one more. Alafu akuambia in 4 years. Wale it took them 30 years. They only brought one. Me in 4, I brought another one. What if you had me time? So none it makes sense. Politicians will tell voters things and those things will make sense. Kitu Ruto hata pull na akipull it a backfire ni the religious card. Yes, jaribu.
I think he's still lean on it. Bro, umetoka kusema saizi prophet akona watu wangapi? Okay, look at what's the guy from Mombasa? What is the name of that?
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel ako kwa campaign nani? So what is in watu tu Ruto has to. They have to. Because in Kenya it has to be religion and tribe.
Jua kishatumia hiyo sasa ametumaliza.
Yeah, all our aunties, all our
wale watu walikuwa naamini story ya planets. They are taking us to Jupiter. Jupiter ya uone. Jupiter iliwekwa hapo ndo. Izungukange tu.
So, I know it's an uphill task. I just believe that it can be done. I think it can be done.
Ruto knows that if you repeat a lie many times, it becomes a truth.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he dares to do it.
I think he will. The religious card has always been there. It's going to be there.
Sasa swali tunafaa kuwa tunajiuliza, ni wale hawapendi Ruto ni nini watafanya yenye ni tofauti?
I mean, the reality is we have options. Again, Maraga is here. Boniface Mwangi is vying. Maraga is vying.
Anasikiza. Wanaweza rally yao inaweza jaa watu.
Saizi za Maraga zinaanza kujaa.
Yeah, ikijaa mzuri na tumfuate na tusimfuate on the basis of tribe. Hata mimi ni hesabu huko. Lakini sasa unajua vile mambo iko saa hii. Mambo si hivyo straightforward vile tunasema.
I know. I just think if
unajua did you go to Tanzania when Mama Samia Suluhu was vying?
I wouldn't.
Drive kutoka Namanga mpaka Arusha. Kutoka Arusha mpaka Moshi. Hakuna businesses zinaweza weka billboard your country. You think it's a joke?
No.
Manze Arusha mzima.
Is her.
Hakuna hata sijui Jubilee Insurance, ama sijui NCBA Bank, ama sijui furniture. There is ama KFC on the billboard. Nani kama mama? Hiyo billboard ilikuwa inaandikwa nani kama mama. Manze the country was green and yellow. Ali overwhelm hiyo country na pesa. Hiyo chama cha CCM.
And then she got 98.9% or 98 point something.
Sasa if you jail your opponent, what happens?
But okay, even if you jail your opponent, you want to tell me that everyone that was registered as a voter showed up to vote?
Why were they not rebellious enough to just pick some random candidate na wamrushie protest vote? Inamaanisha hao watu wako conditioned pia kufikiria hivi.
Of course. Okay, beyond conditioning, of course we know what happened. Same thing you were asking earlier. So there are no sick people on this election day. Hakuna nyawali au kuenda kuvote. 98% of votes unajua.
So basi wenye walikuwa wanaandamana ni kina nani? Ama ni the 2%?
So the ones who were on maandamano didn't vote. Wewe wako andamana wao kuvote. Because that's the assumption.
So hao ndio the 2%. So anybody else mwenye hakuandamana alivote?
Yeah.
It's a lie. Statistically false.
And apart from just voting, they voted for her. She got 98%, bro. Do you know statistically what that means? It's impossible.
Means she should be a queen.
Let me tell you, the only person who's close is Kim Jong-un, who got 99.9%. Because who are you not to vote for Kim Jong-un?
No, the ballot paper comes with only Kim Jong-un's photo.
It's true. So the ballot had just him.
Sasa si atakosa kushinda.
99.9.
Democracy. Other people thought they shouldn't vie.
Bruh. Who are you to vie? Even just the audacity to hold an election. No, what a privilege. Not the audacity, what a privilege you had an election. To vote one person on the ballot, but what a privilege. At least mulipiga kura.
Is North Korea more developed than us?
If you're looking at shiny things, yes. But the operation...
Quality of life that people
Quality of life, no.
Okay. Sasa, is Singapore.
Like, if you're looking at it, tumejenga Talanta Stadium, tumejenga zingine kumi. The shiny things, but also we only see one side of North Korea, which is where they allow you to see. We have no idea what happens in the other parts of North Korea because who's seen them?
And if they saw them, did they take a picture? And
You
if
can't.
they took a picture, did they leave the country with the picture?
Because remember, it's one of the hardest visas to get. And when you get a visa, as soon as you land, of course they do background checks and all that, right? As soon as you land, they assign you someone permanently. This person who's with you permanently is a person who decides where you go. You can't just randomly choose a hotel. They give you a list of the hotels you can choose.
Which are swarming with their version of NIS.
Everything. So that means the part of North Korea that you'll see is the one that they want you to see. So it's very
So
curated.
watakuzungusha tu hapo Pyongyang. Ni Pyongyang.
Yeah.
Pyongyang.
Yeah, I like how you remember names. Yeah, Apple, they take you to specific places. That's why when you look at...
You know, even what's crazy? Kenya's GDP is approximately $120 billion, ranking it 64th globally, while North Korea is estimated at 34 billion USD.
in
GDP.
Look at that, bro. And, bro, also remember, they don't have social media or anything. So also, the people who are there have no means of communicating with the rest of the world.
Who don't even know we exist.
They don't even know we exist or what we look like.
Because the day they see your hair, bro. The day people of North Korea see your hair.
Education system is super controlled. They study what the government wants.
Whatever the government will tell them you are, that's what you will be. If they say you've just dropped from Mars, you are an alien.
Yeah, that's what
they'll believe you.
That's how bad it is.
But you know, if you go with that hair to some third world country that doesn't really know you very well, you can become a very popular pastor. Because the only thing you need to say is that God told you never to
shave. Shave my hair. And I look very different.
And because of the hair, you hear things. And you know things. And you are just looking at this woman here. And something in your spirit is telling you she's not okay.
Bro, that's how religion walks in, everything, logic and everything else leaves.
And North Korea controlled by some form of religion.
Please check, actually. I'd be curious to know what they believe in, mostly North Korea. I doubt. Yeah, what do they mainly believe in, North Korea?
Let's see. Slowly. North Korea is an atheist state. While its constitution nominally guarantees freedom of religion, in practice, the government maintains strict control over religious activities, viewing independent religious groups as a threat to the state.
Of course.
They see religious activity as a threat to the state.
You know why? Because, the idea is this supreme leader should be like a god. So when you start introducing other people that are above the supreme
other
leader,
gods.
What do you mean? That there's someone else who's more powerful? Then you start giving them the idea that they can start thinking.
Now I've seen how people remain in toxic relationships. Finally, I've understood toxic relationships.
Have you been in one ever?
No.
Yeah. You married early.
I married when I'm 22. So ilini protect wako mashida mingi. Si kunyang'anywa pesa ya fare. Sijakaa na mtu akahama na vitu zote. Nikarudi nyumbani kapata ameenda na TV, fridge na kila kitu. So, yeah, I may say that settling young helped me avoid some problems that would have most obviously occurred.
Yeah.
And then also I saved up some money, but probably I used it to invest, because if I had spent that money, if you imagine, if I had spent money that I was making from my 20s all the way up to 28, 27, and then nikuje kuoa sasa nikiwa tuseme 29, I would have wasted a lot of money, by the way. So it might have saved my money also.
But why did you marry that young? Because it's not common nowadays. It used to be common back in the day, but it's very uncommon.
Nowadays, do people marry at all?
That's what I'm saying. It's very uncommon.
It's very uncommon. Well, for me...
But also, I think it's just uncommon in urban areas. If you go to the village, 17, 18...
Kwanza Kwale County is leading. Mimi huko niliona child marriages paka nikashtuka. And I was there during the time ya Christmas, mazee, young children with children. People were not even 18. Children with children. But marrying young also, you learn on the job. So, iko na advantages zake, iko na challenges zake. Were you serious when you told me you have 4 wives?
No, I'm not married.
Oh. Congratulations. Congratulations.
You thought I actually had 4 wives?
Yeah, I envy you.
Why?
Ni ngumu.
Ushachoka?
Sijachoka. Unataka niwache.
Be honest.
Nilienda kwa hiyo podcast ya Mike Check. Nikasema nimechoka na bibi yangu. Hey.
Headline news, bro.
I'm not even worried about the news. I'm worried about what she will do to me.
But I think she knows you. Maybe she should know you're trolling. Like she knows who you really are, I'm assuming.
Bado. It still doesn't absolve you of the crime.
True.
Yeah, bado you will face a bashing. Na itakuwa rahisi.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not like too keen on marriage and all that. Yeah.
No, not just you. I mean, it's a Gen Z thing.
Yeah.
Most of the people our age or our age group ya Gen Z, hawataki pressure. Na hawataki stress. Na hawataki problems. So kama wanaweza avoid problems by not being too intertwined in a relationship that demands too much commitment from them, wana prefer hiyo. Afadhali, in fact, they prefer loose relationship yenye kama haiwork vizuri, hata kubreak up, it doesn't involve court cases.
Yeah.
Hamwendi kotini, hamwendi wapi, mnaacha tu kuongeleshana.
Yeah. I think
then mnapatana kwa mall kama kila mtu amemove on.
Yeah. Also, I think we don't have a lot of good examples, and people are looking at that.
Hata see examples peke yake. The examples we thought are good have turned out not to have been so good in the end, because people faked a lot. People faked happiness. People faked satisfaction. People faked respect. People are faking to give a false image to society. That mambo iko sawa, tuko best, look at how we are hugging, look at how we are holding hands. But in the end, unakuja kugundua it is not what you think it is.
Yeah.
So mimi, 4 years ago, I was encouraging people to get married when they are young. In fact, up to 2 years ago. For the last 2 years, naweza waambia take your time. Not that I've faced any challenges, but I've been part of so many cases. Manze nimeitwa makesi za watu wamekosana, wamefanyiana sijui nini. Nimezienda. Na nimesikiza, nimeingia huku Facebook, nikasikiza confessions. Nowadays ladies confess. Mimi hata sikudhani I'll be alive to hear women confessing to things.
Yeah.
Kuna ingine na watchingi kwa Facebook ya This is my secret. Na kuna group ingine iko Facebook inaitwa Smart Girls. Hiyo huwezi ingia if you are not a chick. So you have to have like a pseudo account ya them. Ndio uingie.
So you have one. That's how much you want to gossip. Mpaka uko na pseudo account ya them.
Nilionyeshwa na mtu wako nayo.
Okay.
Sasa the things people are confessing to, the things people are doing there, hata utaogopa marriage. Mmoja anapost anasema, nimedanganya bwana yangu nimelipa school fees. Nani ako na receipt ya school fees ya shule fulani? Anatumiwa receipt hapo. Anatumia bwanake. Nimemdanganya.
Kwa receipt na jina mtoto ama na Photoshop tu?
Si wanabadilisha tu. Sijui nimemdanganya nimepika sijui nyama na managu. Mtu anitumie picha, mwenye amepika nyama na managu, ama nimemdanganya niko salon. Mtu anatumia picha ya salon, anatumia salon, wana edit, wana crop. Hapa natoa mahali uso iko, ama piga yenye iko na side ya nyuma ya kichwa. You know, the kind of things people are confessing, kama umaisoma comment section, the things people say they've done are shocking. Paka unasema, kweli?
Yeah.
Ukafanya hiyo? Hey, you are the devil's kazi. So, people are not very real about who they are or what their values are. So, you could settle and become the unhappiest human being that has ever been, and become very sad and very depressed. You will even stop chasing your goals. I know people who've stopped chasing their goals because of just, women taking energy away from them, or even men taking our energy away from women. Someone just comes to your life, and by the time they leave with you. You are only left there physically, but they've taken your hope, they've taken your spirit. Nazambia watu, go slow. I'm also worried that there are too many single people and that we are going to have social problems because of not many people not being in families that are functional.
Like
But
Japan and China struggling with an aging population.
Sasa tunaweza enda tuwasaidie. I even saw a church being sold in Barcelona. Churches are being sold over there. Nobody's coming to church. So, bado kuna shida, kuna mahali tunaweza enda tusaidie. But nobody should rush. People should take their time. But if you find somebody who ticks your boxes, don't fear. Useme juu ya so and so ilikuwa na shida, hata yako itakuwa na shida. No. Everybody's marriage works differently. Wewe kaa na msichana wenyewe, ama kaa na huyo kijana wenyewe, tunza yeye vizuri, ama mtunzane vizuri. You know what clicks for you. Msijaribu kufuata society. Kama nyinyi mnapenda kukula samosa for supper, hiyo iwe ndio samosa, ndio supper yenu.
Kidhabudha.
Msijistress. Yeah, don't overthink. Just take it easy. Hivyo ndivyo naweza sema about marriage, lakini marriage sijui nani atakuja kusaidia, lakini hapo iko kazi.
Sasa watu pambane na hali yao,
Juu venye naona couples wanafanyiana, even the things they do to each other on social media wakati wamekosana, the revelations they bring. Mpaka nasemanga, okay, so what if they agree again? How are they going to erase from our minds what they've told us about each other? Mumekosana, huyu amekuja amesema, no wonder you even have a small thingy. Okay. Na mkisameana alafu murudiane, you think we've forgotten that
he has a small thing.
We know. Anytime we see him, tunasema, okay. He's a denominator.
Limuru gang.
Anajaribu lakini hawezi. Kiherehere. Nyumba ayuni. Hai haiwezi kuuma. Ni kelele tu.
Ni chihuahua.
So, I mean, the things people say about each other are nasty. People need to go slow on how much, they reveal
And share
about what's going on with them. They should know that things might work out between them, and then they might not erase what they've already told us. Kwa hivyo, kumejam lamba glucose. This thing iko hivyo. Lakini mkijam sana, muone hamuwezi, take a break. Everybody clear their mind. Ukipata sasa your mind is clear na bado inasema haiwezi, kuja mkae chini. Ambia neni, wewe unaonaje inaweza waka? Kuambia hapana, mimi naona haiwezi waka. Hata mimi naona haiwezi waka. Si tu split. Tunataka tufanyaje BCD, tuifanye hivi na hivi. Then you do it na civil way. Si hizi vitu za uso juu na amechomwa na acid kwa uso. I mean, look, come on. Why you have a career ahead of you? You've worked so hard to build up your career to that level. Then you're going to jail for burning somebody's face. Alafu unamchoma uso, then what?
Then what? Yeah.
Na wasichana wanakutaka hapa nje wenye ni warembo ni wengi, hata wewe mwenyewe huwezi maliza, even if you date one every day. Sasa si huyu kama imekataa, acceptance is the first step towards healing. Kubali, wachana naye. Wewe kuja, somebody else atakupenda, ama ukae peke yako, kwani what's wrong? There is nothing wrong with a man being alone. In fact, it has very good moments of clarity. Yeah, you get to see things clearly when you are alone. Kuliko when you have the noise of family and what have you, and the pressures of life. Oh, huyu sijafanya hivi, huyu ana complain sijafanya. When you are alone, you think. So see, don't be afraid to be alone. It's okay to be alone. So don't be scared to be alone. Just be alone. You will be fine. There are many people like you who are alone and they are okay. Just find out what alone people do.
Yeah.
With their time.
Yeah.
And then once you know what alone people do with their time, you will be so busy doing your own things, you will not even realize you are alone. Because you'll have created like a new environment around you.
And you find a community. Because there's communities for everything. Even single people have communities. They have things they do. Hata saizi tu, if you suddenly picked up new interest, useme tu maybe wewe unapenda kula Colgate. Utapata kuna community watu wanapenda kula Colgate. Na mtapatana tu huko.
Nijaribu hiyo.
You are busy.
No, nilikuwa nakula Colgate.
Kitambo, as a kid.
Primary.
Yeah.
I went to a school called St. Andrew Kagwa Boys, Nyansiongo, Kokisi, and the hunger there.
Wait, so you eat Colgate?
We did eat Colgate for sure.
And our Facebook says, unaona unapenda groups za Facebook. I'm sure kuna watu wanapenda kula Colgate. Watakwambia hata gani ni poa. Gani ublot sana. Watakwambia hizo vitu zote.
Umenipea kazi. Hiyo ni kama ice cream, ni kama whipped cream.
Wachana na Colgate. Morara, thank you so much for making time, bro. It was fun speaking to you. Story haziwezi isha, karibu tena.
We had a good time.
Yes, I did.
We've talked. And even as we talk, we hope that we continue to inspire and inform. Thank you for keeping the lights on at Mic Check. I watch the conversations, I listen, I enjoy.
Thank you.
And for those who are watching and have not subscribed, let me take it upon myself. I'm not the host.
Yes, go.
But I'm hosting now. Make sure you click the subscribe button so that you keep getting conversations like this. In fact, the ones that are coming are better than this one. So no one has kuwa host.
Nothing else to add, man. Good night. Thank you. That was fun.